Welcome back to Moon Temple. Tonight, prepare for a journey so delightfully improbable, so utterly paradoxical, it might just be the most profoundly sensible adventure you've ever embarked upon. Imagine, if you will, discovering a thriving coral reef in the heart of the Sahara Desert, or perhaps it's a perfectly composed symphony performed entirely by a flock of pigeons. That, my friends, is roughly the level of glorious absurdity we're about to explore, how the ancient, serene, often baffling wisdom of Zen Buddhism has not only found a foothold, but has actually helped some of the most famous and delightfully peculiar minds in American entertainment achieve extraordinary success. If you thought last time's stories helped you sleep like a baby Buddha, tonight's Odyssey will surely invite you to dream beyond the cosmos. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really like what I do here. And as you settle in, perhaps share your location and local time in the comments below. It's always fascinating to imagine our shared space, spanning across continents and time zones, united by this quiet moment. Now let's begin our journey together tonight. Settle deeper into your sanctuary, now allowing the gentle whisper of your breath to guide you. Feel the subtle rise and fall within you, a rhythm as ancient and unwavering as the tides. Let your shoulders soften, releasing any residual tension that might be clinging there like a stubborn stage light, refusing to dim. As you exhale, imagine releasing any expectations, any preconceived notions of what tonight's narrative will unfold. You are simply here in this perfectly still moment, ready to receive. Now cast your mind's eye towards the glittering, often deafening spectacle that is Hollywood. Picture it a landscape of dreams and neuroses where ambition burns brighter than 1,000 searchlights, and ego often dwarfs the very mountains upon which its iconic sign is perched. It's a place where the pursuit of fame feels less like a spiritual quest and more like a high-octane chase scene, relentless and utterly unforgiving. A place where the prevailing wisdom dictates more is more, louder is better, and silence is strictly for the editing room. So you might reasonably inquire, how on earth could Zen Buddhism, with its emphasis on profound stillness detachment and the glorious emptiness of no self, possibly thrive in such a habitat? It's a conundrum as perplexing as finding a perfectly content, self-actualized fish doing the backstroke across the sun-baked sands of the Mojave Desert. And yet here we are, about to plunge into that very absurdity. Zen, with its gentle nudges towards introspection and the radical notion that true wisdom often resides in doing absolutely nothing at all, or rather doing everything with a mind free from clutter, seems about as compatible with the Hollywood machine as a quiet library is with a monster truck rally. You'd instinctively picture Zen practitioners in robes, perhaps contemplating a single dewdrop on a bamboo leaf in a misty Japanese garden, not in a producer's high-stress pitch meeting or negotiating a multi-million-dollar contract. It's almost comically mismatched, isn't it? And yet, as the relentless grind of fame and fortune often reveals its own peculiar existential emptiness, even the most outwardly successful and seemingly fulfilled individuals find themselves staring into a void that no amount of box office receipts or shiny awards can possibly fill. It's then, in that quiet moment of uncomfortable realization, that the whispers begin. Whispers of a different kind of success, a success not measured in net worth or digital follower counts, but in an unshakable inner peace, a crystal clear mind, and a profound, often self deprecating understanding of what truly matters, even if it means admitting you might in fact be utterly clueless about most things. You see, the Hollywood dream, while undeniably alluring from afar, can be a particularly soul crushing treadmill up close. Imagine the constant, microscopic scrutiny, the relentless pressure to perpetually perform, to be on, to maintain an image that feels less like a person and more like a carefully crafted brand. It's exhausting, isn't it? Even for you navigating your own daily existence, the incessant pings of notifications, the subtle comparison traps laid by social media, the gnawing anxiety of always needing to do more or achieve better can feel like a never ending audition. Now amplify that by 1,000,000 watts, add a chorus of anonymous online critics, and throw in the ever present existential dread of your next project flopping harder than a poorly executed stunt scene. It's enough to make anyone, regardless of their celebrity status, seek solace, even if that solace comes from something as seemingly un-Hollywood as simply sitting still and paying attention to their breath. Perhaps it's the ultimate Zen twist that in a world so fiercely obsessed with external validation and the fleeting applause of the masses, a growing number of its brightest stars are quietly, almost defiantly turning inward. They are seeking a wisdom that whispers of letting go in a culture built on grabbing more, of non attachment in a business fueled by intense desire. It's a bit like trying to teach a cat to fetch. Isn't it utterly delightful when it works, but fundamentally counterintuitive to its very nature? And yet, for these individuals, it has not only worked, but it has also proven to be a truly unexpected advantage, a secret weapon in a fiercely competitive landscape where authenticity is often confused with artifice. These aren't just fleeting celebrity whims, like that brief obsession with designer bottled water or the sudden resurgence of oversized blazers. No, for many, the integration of Zen principles has become a deep seated foundation, a quiet anchor in the stormy, often turbulent seas of fame. It's about cultivating a resilience that doesn't crack under pressure, a clarity that slices through the most dazzling illusions, and a genuine presence that allows them to connect more profoundly with their craft, their colleagues, and perhaps even their audience in ways that transcend mere performance. They've discovered that true success isn't just about what you gain, but about what you are willing to release. It's about the profound, unshakable strength found in acknowledging your own fundamental emptiness, not as a void to be frantically filled, but as a vast open space for infinite possibility. As you continue to breathe gently now, allowing your body to sink a little deeper into the comfort of your surroundings, consider this the Zen journey, whether undertaken by a robed monk in a secluded mountain temple or a movie star in a Malibu mansion, ultimately leads to the same liberating destination. It's a path toward understanding the true nature of reality, and more importantly, the often overlooked nature of your own mind. It's about shedding the myriad layers of illusion, of ego, of clinging attachment, until all that remains is a profound sense of peace and a quiet knowing presence. And sometimes, in that very stillness, in that delicious no mind, is precisely where you find the clarity to cut through the noise, to discern the elegant solution to a complex problem, or to deliver a performance so authentically brilliant it moves millions. Tonight we'll gently peel back the layers of celebrity mystique and delve into the quiet, often unpublicized practices that have allowed these famous individuals to not just survive but truly thrive in the most demanding environments imaginable. You'll hear how some of Hollywood's most recognizable faces have found their version of Zen, not by retreating from the world, but by engaging with it more fully, more consciously, and with a refreshing dose of humility and self deprecating humor that Zen seems to so effortlessly inspire. So prepare to be surprised, perhaps amused, and hopefully guided towards a deeper sense of tranquility that can lead to your own version of success and certainly to a remarkably deep sleep. As the faint echoes of Hollywood's glittering absurdity begin to recede, leaving a quiet, knowing smile upon your lips, let's narrow our focus to a mind that truly embodies the paradox of Zen in the limelight. We turn now to a figure whose very name conjures images of cinematic turbulence and unflinching intensity: Oliver Stone. If you've ever watched one of his films, you know you're in for a ride. These aren't your gentle, heartwarming rom-coms, are they? Oh no, we're talking about the raw, visceral grit of Platoon, the dizzying conspiratorial layers of JFK, the biting corporate greed of Wall Street. His movies are less a casual viewing experience and more a full frontal assault on your perceptions designed to provoke, to challenge, to make you think, and perhaps to slightly increase your blood pressure. Imagine, if you will, being the maestro behind such an orchestra of controlled chaos. A film set directed by Oliver Stone must feel like the eye of a very particular storm. You're juggling hundreds of crew members, wrestling multi-million dollar budgets into submission battling impossible deadlines that loom like a furious studio executive wrangling temperamental actors who are probably all vying for the same Oscar and trying to translate a sprawling, often politically charged vision from your relentlessly active mind onto the giant screen. The sheer volume of decisions, the constant flow of information, the conflicting egos, the technical nightmares. It's the kind of environment that could make even the most unflappable Zen master consider taking up interpretive dance just to vent. Your mind at any given moment would be a high speed data center, processing, analyzing, commanding, and constantly trying to maintain a singular, unwavering artistic vision amidst the cacophony. It's enough to turn even the most organized mind into a badly tuned radio, all static and screech. The physical and mental toll of such a life is immense. You're constantly on perpetually solving problems, absorbing criticism, and pushing boundaries. There's no room for a quiet moment, no space for contemplation, unless, of course, that contemplation involves how to perfectly choreograph a battlefield explosion for maximum emotional impact. The ego, that cunning little internal publicist, thrives in such an environment. It's constantly whispering, "You're brilliant, you're powerful, you're making history. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." It's a delicious, dangerous cocktail that can lead to profound achievements, but also to equally profound burnout and internal disquiet. So, how did a man so steeped in this intense creative and logistical battleground find his way to Zen? It's not often a dramatic, blinding flash of enlightenment, is it? More likely, it begins with a quiet, almost desperate whisper for something else, a yearning for a stillness that doesn't involve shouting, quiet on set, but a stillness that arises from within, undisturbed by the external din. Perhaps it was a chance encounter, a friend suggesting a meditation practice, or simply the sheer exhaustion of relentless striving driving him to seek a different kind of respite than the typical Hollywood escape. Because let's be honest, even the most lavish private island can't truly quiet the mind if the internal monologue is still screaming louder than a blockbuster explosion. It's almost humorous to imagine a man who built his career on noise and confrontation begrudgingly sitting down to learn stillness. Fine. You can almost hear him muttering, I'll try this Zen thing, but if it doesn't solve world peace by Tuesday, I'm going back to screenwriting. This is precisely where Zen meditation, in its profound, almost comically simple approach, offers a lifeline. It's not about forcibly emptying your mind, as so many misconceptions would have you believe. Oh no, that's like trying to stop the ocean waves from crashing by yelling at them. Instead, Zen practice invites you to observe the mind, to watch the relentless parade of thoughts and emotions arise and pass without judgment, without getting entangled in their often dramatic storylines. It's about creating a space, even amidst the clamor of a bustling film set, where the constant internal chatter can begin to subside, not because you're silencing it, but because you're no longer feeding it your precious attention. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a turbulent ocean during a massive storm. Zen practice isn't about stopping the storm. It's about learning to dive beneath the surface where the water is profoundly eternally still. For Oliver Stone, this practice of stepping back, of creating that internal quietude, became an indispensable tool. It allowed him to cut through the relentless static, the endless inputs, and the myriad of conflicting opinions that plague any complex creative endeavor. When his mind was quieter, his own piercing, often controversial creative vision could emerge with greater clarity, unclouded by ego or external pressure. It's the difference between trying to direct a scene in a blinding, chaotic blizzard versus doing so on a perfectly clear, crisp day. The elements are still there, the challenges persist, but your ability to perceive, to decide to act, becomes sharper, more precise. Zen didn't make him less intense. It made his intensity more focused, less scattered, and remarkably more potent. It allowed him to harness his raw, often volatile energy and channel it into groundbreaking narratives that demanded attention and sparked global conversation. He wasn't just a director. He became a more finely tuned, almost terrifyingly precise instrument for his art. The humor in this, if you stop to truly consider it, is delightfully Zen-like. Here is a man famous for his unflinching examinations of power corruption and the often brutal truths of American society, finding his inner compass through a practice that encourages non-striving and detachment. It's a paradox that would make even a seasoned Zen master chuckle into their teacup, perhaps remarking, Ah, the human condition, always seeking complication, only to find simplicity was the answer all along, often hidden in plain sight, right next to a multi-million-dollar camera. The very chaos he depicts on screen might, in a strange, beautiful way, be a reflection of the internal chaos he once grappled with, now approached with a newfound, almost ironic equanimity. He doesn't shy away from the noise. He learns to direct it not just on screen, but within himself. Now, as you settle even deeper into your own peaceful space, allow yourself to notice any lingering mental noise, those fleeting thoughts, those tiny worries, those subtle anxieties about your day or perhaps tomorrow. Just observe them. Don't try to push them away, for that is like trying to hold smoke. Instead, simply acknowledge them as you would acknowledge a distant hum and then gently return your attention to your breath. Feel the subtle rise and fall of your chest, the quiet rhythm that is always there, always accessible, always ready to bring you back to this moment. This simple act, this quiet presence, is the very essence that allowed Oliver Stone to sculpt masterpieces from chaos, and it is here within you, ready to guide you towards your own profound clarity, preparing you for a deep, restorative sleep. As the lingering intensity of cinematic clarity begins to soften, leaving you with a newfound quiet within, let's pivot from the disciplined focus of Oliver Stone to a different, perhaps even more delightfully Zen like character. We turn our gaze now to a man who seems to have been born with Zen principles tattooed on his soul, embodying the very essence of effortless acceptance, even before he probably knew what Zen was the one and only Jeff Bridges. For many of you, the mere mention of Jeff Bridges immediately conjures the image of the dude from The Big Lebowski, a character so profoundly, magnificently unbothered, so perfectly aligned with the cosmic flow of things that he became an accidental spiritual guru for an entire generation. You remember him, don't you? Sauntering through life, often bathrobe clad, a white Russian perpetually in hand, his primary goal seemingly to just abide. He is the living, breathing, albeit fictional embodiment of Take It Easy Man. And while The Dude remains a cinematic masterpiece of Zen like non resistance, his laid back, non resistant philosophy eerily mirrors the real life approach Jeff Bridges brings to his own existence and his remarkably enduring career. It's almost as if Zen itself found him because he was already so wonderfully, gloriously unstuck. You could say he was the original Zen celebrity, just without the official certification. But even for someone seemingly as naturally Zen as Bridges Hollywood, and indeed life itself, presents its own unique set of chaotic demands. Imagine for a moment being an actor of his caliber. Every role comes with an avalanche of expectations, from directors with very specific visions, from producers with very specific budget concerns, from critics with very specific opinions, and from millions of fans with very specific desires for your next move. There's the relentless pressure to deliver, to perform not just on screen, but off screen too. There's the constant cycle of auditions that feel like existential crises, the inevitable rejections that sting like 1,000 paper cuts, the impossibly long hours on set that warp your sense of time, and the unavoidable microscopic scrutiny of public life that dissects every hair out of place. Even the dude has to deal with agents, studio executives, and perhaps the occasional existential dread over a poorly rolled bowling ball. How do you maintain that effortlessly abiding spirit, that serene flow when the world is constantly demanding more, pushing you to be something other than what you are, or worse, telling you precisely what you should be? It's a challenge that would make even a seasoned Riverstone consider building a dam. This is precisely where Jeff Bridges' formal Zen practice takes that innate dude-like quality and deepens it, transforming it from a charming quirk into a profound wellspring of resilience, authenticity, and enduring creative power. Zen, you see, isn't about being passive or indifferent. Oh no, that's just spiritual laziness, disguised as enlightenment, like a cat napping on a meditation cushion and claiming it's attaining inner peace. True Zen acceptance is a radical, active surrender to the present moment, whatever it may bring. It's about letting go of resistance to what is, rather than desperately trying to force what should be. It's like being a river. You flow, you adapt to the contours of the land, you navigate obstacles, you carry whatever is thrown into you, but you don't fight the current. You simply are the current. You are the continuous, effortless movement, and your success comes from embodying that flow. Bridges has spoken openly about how his Zen meditation and practice help him maintain this state of effortless flow. When he's on set, instead of getting caught up in the tension of a difficult scene or the anxieties of a tight schedule, he can simply be there. He can observe the situation, his own thoughts and emotions, without judgment or the need to interfere. It's a remarkable ability to be fully engaged without being fully entangled, like a spider expertly spinning its web without becoming stuck in it. Imagine yourself trying to fall asleep. Your mind starts racing with the day's events, worries about tomorrow, or perhaps that hilariously embarrassing thing you said 5 years ago at a company holiday party. Your immediate instinct might be to fight those thoughts, to push them away with all your might. But Zen suggests don't fight. Simply notice them. Let them drift by like curious clouds in a vast, empty sky. When you stop resisting the resistance, itself begins to dissolve, and what remains is a profound sense of ease, a quiet permission for sleep to arrive naturally. The humor in Bridges' Zen journey is particularly rich, often subtly self deprecating. Here's a man who made abiding a household concept, yet he practices a discipline specifically designed to help you abide even more deeply. It's like training a fish to swim better or teaching a bird to fly. He was already a natural, a cosmic dude from birth. But Zen provides the profound, nuanced understanding of why that natural state is so powerful and how to maintain it, even when the world is throwing bowling balls at your head. He's not trying to be enlightened, he's simply trying to be himself, more fully, more authentically, and perhaps with fewer minor internal freakouts. And in a world that often demands a theatrical performance from its stars, his effortless authenticity shines through like a perfectly rolled joint at a jazz concert, making him one of Hollywood's most beloved and enduring figures. He's not acting Zen, he's simply Zen acting. This radical acceptance, this profound ability to let go of what he thinks should happen and to effortlessly embrace what is happening, is perhaps the true, enduring secret to his long standing success. He doesn't chase roles with desperate ambition or cling to past glories with rigid pride. He embodies them with a profound sense of presence, allowing characters to flow through him like a gentle river. He doesn't fight the inevitable changes of life or career, the dry spells, the critical disappointments, the passing of eras. He flows with them, adjusting, adapting, learning. This non resistance translates into performances that feel incredibly real, incredibly raw, because he's not trying to be anyone else. He's just him. And in the chaotic, often inauthentic landscape of show business, that genuine, unforced authenticity is as refreshing as a perfectly chilled white Russian on a sweltering desert day. Now, as you continue to relax, allow your awareness to settle deeply in your body. Notice any areas where you might be holding tension, perhaps a clenched jaw, furrowed brow, or tightened shoulders. And instead of trying to force that tension away, simply acknowledge its presence, perhaps with a soft, knowing smile. Just as Jeff Bridges accepts the unpredictable currents of life, simply accept what you feel without judgment, without the need to change anything. Breathe into those areas, imagining each exhale as a gentle sigh, releasing any resistance, any need to control. You are not trying to make yourself relax. You are simply allowing relaxation to unfold naturally, like the graceful falling of autumn leaves. Feel the ease settling over you, preparing you for a journey into a deeper, more peaceful sleep. As you continue to luxuriate in that profound state of effortless acceptance, feeling the gentle release of internal resistance, let's transition from the calm, abiding flow of Jeff Bridges to a mind that found its Zen not in stillness, but in the delightful, often uncomfortable embrace of universal absurdity, the brilliant and endlessly self aware Gary Shandling. Now, if you're familiar with Gary Shandling's work, you know he wasn't just a comedian, he was a philosophical jester, a maestro of meta humor who could dissect the very process of being a comedian, a celebrity, and indeed a human being with surgical precision and disarming vulnerability. Think about his groundbreaking shows, like it's Gary Shandling's show or the Larry Sanders Show. These weren't just sitcoms. Oh no. They were intricate, self referential explorations that gleefully blurred the lines between reality and fiction, where characters were often acutely aware they were in a TV show, and Gary himself frequently broke the fourth wall to speak directly to you, the audience. His humor was less about punchlines and more about a knowing, often poignant chuckle at the human condition. It was self deprecating, insightful, and profoundly honest. He laughed at himself, at the relentless machinery of Hollywood, at the absurdity of it all, and in doing so, he invited you to laugh right along with him, often uncomfortably, always thoughtfully. You could say his comedy was a form of public zazen, sitting and observing the ridiculousness of life. Now imagine the world of stand up comedy and television production. It's a ruthless high stakes arena, isn't it? You're constantly battling for laughs, for ratings, for relevance, for the next big deal that might or might not materialize. The pressure to be funny, to be clever, to write compelling material, day in and day out to connect with a fickle audience, can be utterly soul crushing. Comedians often draw from personal pain, from sharp, often cynical observations of human foibles, from the relentless need to be on for an audience that demands instant gratification. It's a profession that can breed immense ego because your worth feels directly tied to how many people are laughing at your jokes, or more accurately, with your jokes. And for someone as introspective, as profoundly self aware, and as prone to existential pondering as Chandling, this environment could have been a recipe for perpetual anxiety and a deep dive into cynicism, if not for his deeply rooted Zen practice. So, how did Zen mindfulness shape Gary Shandling's comedic genius? It wasn't about him suddenly becoming a serene Zen master who happened to tell jokes about the nature of impermanence. Oh no, that would be far too earnest, and frankly not very funny. Instead, his Zen practice provided him with a unique, detached lens through which to observe the human condition, including his own wonderfully peculiar inner workings. Mindfulness, at its very core, is simply paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about noticing your thoughts, your emotions, your physical sensations, and the world around you without getting swept away by their currents, without clinging to them, and crucially, without taking them too seriously. For a comedian like Shandling, this was pure, unadulterated gold. It was like having a permanent internal camera rolling, capturing every nuance, every subtle flicker of absurdity, every self important puff of the ego, all for comedic fodder. Imagine Gary in a room, perhaps a tense network meeting, where careers hung in the balance, or a chaotic writer's room where ideas clashed like gladiators. While others might be caught up in the drama, the ego clashes the frantic scramble for a perfect punchline. His Zen practice allowed him to step back just a fraction. He could observe the entire scene as if it were a meticulously choreographed play. He saw the characters, the underlying motivations, the inherent ridiculousness of people trying so hard to be important or profound or perfectly in control. This detached, non judgmental observation, born from mindfulness, allowed him to find the humor in the mundane, the profound in the trivial, and the utterly hilarious in the transparent artifice of the entertainment industry itself. It's the ultimate meta joke, isn't it? A comedian using a deep spiritual practice to gain insight, only to then use that insight to poke fun at the very fabric of existence, including his own spiritual journey and the earnestness of others. The paradox here is delightfully profound. A serious spiritual discipline, often associated with quiet contemplation and the search for ultimate truth, actually led Gary Shandling to a profound, often uncomfortable form of laughter. Zen teaches you to see through illusions, to acknowledge the impermanence of everything, and to embrace the glorious emptiness. What better foundation for comedy than recognizing that so much of what we take desperately seriously is in fact just a grand, elaborate, fleeting illusion? His self deprecating style, often a hallmark of Zen humility, allowed him to connect with audiences on a much deeper, more authentic level. He wasn't just telling jokes, he was inviting you into his own process of understanding, of gently mocking the very human tendency to cling to fleeting ideas, including the idea of being a famous, successful comedian. He had the courage to be vulnerable, to show his warts and all, because Zen had taught him that even the warts were part of the perfectly imperfect, beautiful, and often hilarious whole. This mindful presence, this profound ability to detach from the desperate need for external validation, is what allowed Gary Shandling's comedy to possess such longevity, depth, and universal resonance. He wasn't chasing trends, he was observing the timeless, often absurd truths of human behavior. He wasn't just performing, he was being, or authentically, vulnerably, and hilariously. His success wasn't merely about getting laughs, it was about connecting with people on a level that transcended the superficial by showing them the humor in their own anxieties and the shared absurdity of the human experience. He taught us that true enlightenment might just involve learning to laugh at yourself until your sides ache, and then perhaps taking a quiet, mindful breath to fully appreciate the cosmic joke. Now, as you continue to feel your body softening, imagine your own mind as a vast open stage. Notice any thoughts, any feelings, any lingering sounds. Instead of judging them or trying to change them, simply observe them with a gentle curiosity, perhaps even with a tiny knowing smile, just as Gary Shandling might have done. Allow these thoughts to drift by like amusing characters in a play, neither clinging to them nor pushing them away. With each gentle breath, feel yourself detaching just a little more from the mental chatter, creating a spaciousness within you that is perfect for deep restorative sleep. This open, accepting awareness is your own unique stage, ready to welcome profound peace and effortless rest. As you continue to find your unique Zen laughter, allowing the absurdities of life and the ego to gently dance through your mind, let's pivot from the self aware humor of Gary Shandling to a different yet equally profound manifestation of Zen's transformative power. We turn our gaze now to a classic leading man whose profound inner peace has fueled not just his enduring career, but a relentless, unwavering commitment to the well being of the world. Richard Gere. Imagine him, if you will, a figure of undeniable Hollywood elegance, gracing countless magazine covers, starring in films that have captivated generations. You know his iconic roles: the smooth, charming businessman, the dashing officer, the romantic hero with a glint in his eye. Yet beneath that polished, charismatic exterior and the undeniable star power lies a man profoundly, almost startlingly devoted to Tibetan Buddhism, a practice that shares deep philosophical roots and meditative disciplines with Zen. He isn't just a casual adherent, someone who dabbles in meditation between takes. Oh no. Richard Gere is a passionate lifelong student, a personal friend, and unwavering champion of the Dalai Lama, and arguably one of Hollywood's most vocal, consistent, and often politically inconvenient advocates for human rights, particularly for the people of Tibet. You might even recall seeing him at major public events, not just promoting his latest blockbuster, but standing bravely on a global stage, speaking truth to power, often risking his own comfortable standing in the industry. Now pause for a moment and truly consider the prevailing stereotype of Hollywood. It's often painted as the epicenter of narcissism, a glamorous echo chamber where self interest reigns supreme and public statements are meticulously focus grouped to ensure maximum marketability and zero controversy. The idea of a major star consistently risking their career, their commercial appeal, and their personal comfort for a cause that is often politically charged and financially unrewarding seems utterly gloriously un-Hollywood, doesn't it? It's the ultimate paradox. A person who thrives in an industry built on elaborate illusions and self promotion choosing to dedicate a significant part of his actual real life existence to unmasking injustice and alleviating genuine suffering in the world. How does one maintain such spiritual integrity, such unwavering compassion amidst the relentless glare of fame and the tempting allure of purely commercial pursuits? It's a challenge that would make even the most seasoned diplomat consider a quiet life of extreme basket weaving. This is precisely where Richard Gere's profound immersion in Buddhist philosophy becomes not just a personal path to peace, but a seemingly inexhaustible wellspring for his relentless and often courageous activism. It's not simply about meditating in a quiet room or chanting mantras in solitude. It's about allowing the core principles of compassion karuna, the profound desire to alleviate suffering, and loving kindness metta, the expansive unconditional benevolence towards all beings, to permeate every single aspect of his being. These aren't abstract concepts for him. They are living, breathing guides that fuel his engagement with the world. His spiritual practice isn't a retreat from the world's clamoring problems. It's the very deep internal foundation that allows him to step into them with strength, clarity, and an unshakable sense of purpose. He understands that true peace often requires actively working to cultivate conditions for peace for all beings. Imagine his daily ritual, perhaps waking before the Hollywood Hills are fully bathed in sunlight, settling into meditation, allowing his mind to quiet and his heart to expand. This isn't just a routine, It's a rigorous, often challenging training of the mind designed to cultivate an expansive awareness and an unbreakable sense of empathy. When he then steps onto a bustling film set, or more significantly, into a high stakes meeting with politicians or diplomats, he carries that cultivated stillness and profound compassion with him. He's not speaking from a place of anger or ego, but from a deep, heartfelt concern for justice and the universal dignity of all beings. It's like a massive underground river, constantly flowing, constantly nourishing the actions he takes on the surface, allowing his efforts to arise from a place of genuine, unpolluted care. His celebrity, far from being a distraction, becomes a powerful megaphone for the voiceless, a spotlight directed not on himself, but on crucial global issues. He uses his fame not for self aggrandizement, but for the universal promotion of human freedom. The humor in this, if you allow yourself to observe it, is subtly profound and beautifully ironic. Here is a man whose face has graced countless magazine covers, whose movies have grossed billions, who could easily live a life of utter self indulgence, choosing instead to leverage that immense privilege to highlight human rights abuses. It's the ultimate act of non attachment to the very fruits of fame. He's not performing compassion, he's embodying it. It's a quiet, persistent rebellion against the very machinery that made him famous, demonstrating perhaps to his industry peers that true value lies not in what you accumulate, but in how profoundly you contribute. He's teaching us that the true glamour of activism comes not from the cameras or the accolades, but from the genuine, radiant light of a compassionate heart. He truly is a leading man, not just on screen, but for humanity itself, in a role that is far more significant than any character he has ever portrayed. His enduring career, while undeniably impressive in its longevity and versatility, pales in comparison to his truly profound impact as an activist and a global advocate for peace. His authenticity and conviction, powered by his deep spiritual foundation, resonate deeply far beyond mere celebrity endorsement. He has, through his life and actions, redefined success not just by box office numbers or critical acclaim, but by the number of lives he has touched, the awareness he has raised, and the persistent quiet hope he has inspired in the most unlikely of places. He shows us that Zen or Buddhism, in its broader sense, is not just about personal enlightenment or achieving a quiet mind for yourself. It is fundamentally about becoming a more effective, more compassionate, and profoundly impactful agent of change in the world. He has woven his spiritual insights into the very fabric of his public life, creating a tapestry of purpose that endures. Now, as you continue to relax, allow your own heart to soften, expanding with each gentle breath. Imagine extending a gentle, compassionate kindness towards yourself, acknowledging any anxieties, any frustrations, any lingering self judgments that might cling to you like tiny, annoying burrs. Instead of pushing them away, gently acknowledge their presence. Breathe in a deep sense of self acceptance, and as you exhale, imagine releasing any harshness, any self criticism, any need to be anything other than exactly who you are right now. Allow this warm, expansive, compassionate energy to flow through your entire being, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, connecting you to the shared humanity of all beings. Feel how this gentle self kindness creates a profound sense of comfort and safety, preparing your mind and body for the deepest, most restorative sleep. You are worthy of this peace. You are worthy of this boundless compassion. As you continue to feel your heart expand with boundless compassion, that quiet, powerful force for good, let's now shift our lens to a different yet equally profound expression of Zen. We turn our gaze to a figure whose very public persona seems to embody a quiet, almost ethereal detached wisdom, even amidst the most glaring spotlights and the most crushing personal losses, the enigmatic and endlessly fascinating Keanu Reeves. Imagine, if you will, the sheer phenomenon that is Keanu Reeves. He is, by all accounts, one of the most recognizable faces on the planet, a cinematic icon who has effortlessly traversed genres from mind bending sci fi epics like The Matrix to visceral action thrillers like John Wick, and even delightfully absurd comedies like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He commands millions for his roles, yet you rarely see him exhibiting the typical extravagant trappings of a Hollywood superstar. Instead, you might spot him riding the subway like any ordinary commuter, sharing a quiet moment and a sandwich with a homeless person on a park bench, or patiently waiting in line at the grocery store, giving up his seat to someone older. He's known for his quiet demeanor, his thoughtful pauses, and a philosophical outlook that often feels profoundly grounded, almost ancient, as if he carries the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes in his unassuming gaze. He seems to move through the world of celebrity not as a king on a throne, but as a humble observer, a traveler lightly touching the earth, an almost alien like equanimity in a very human world. Now consider the incredible pressure of his career, the relentless demands of acting the global promotional tours, the constant intrusive public scrutiny. But beyond that, consider the profound personal tragedies he has faced, the long, arduous struggle of his sister with leukemia, the devastating loss of his child at birth, followed shortly by the sudden tragic death of his partner. Imagine, if you can, navigating such immense waves of public adoration and private soul crushing sorrow simultaneously. How does one endure such crushing blows, rise repeatedly from the depths of grief, and continue to shine with such quiet dignity without becoming jaded, bitter, or completely consumed by either self pity or the superficiality of fame? It's a challenge that would make even the most hardened individual retreat into a hermit's cave, or perhaps take up competitive marshmallow eating as a less painful coping mechanism. While Keanu Reeves hasn't explicitly identified as a devout Zen Buddhist, in the same public way, Richard Gere has his actions, his consistent demeanor, and his often quoted philosophical musings profoundly reflect core Zen principles. You see, Zen isn't just about formal meditation, it's about a way of being in the world, a lived philosophy. It's about non attachment, not to people or to genuine love, but to the idea of how things should be, to the fleeting nature of pleasure and pain, success and failure. It's about accepting suffering as an inevitable, if painful, part of existence, not as a personal punishment, and learning to find a quiet equanimity amidst life's fiercest storms. And it's profoundly about living simply, authentically, and kindly without the relentless need for external validation or the trappings of excessive material wealth. His Zen isn't preached, it's performed subtly in the quiet theater of his daily life. To observe him in public, his humility isn't an act. It feels deeply ingrained, radiating from his core. His quiet kindness towards fans and strangers alike isn't a carefully orchestrated PR stunt. It appears to be a genuine, spontaneous expression of his character. This profound groundedness, this remarkable ability to remain seemingly untouched by the excesses of fame and the crushing depths of personal sorrow suggests an unshakable inner stability. It's like a giant ancient tree that stands firm through the most violent gales and the most brutal blizzards. The branches may sway, leaves may fall, but the trunk remains deeply rooted, unyielding in its core, connecting to a source far deeper than the superficial ground. Keanu seems to embody the Zen ideal of being in the world, but not of the world, participating fully, engaging meaningfully, yet never fully clinging to its fleeting joys or its inevitable sorrows. He recognizes that every role, every accolade, every personal experience is ultimately impermanent, like a dream. And when you realize the dreamlike nature of life, you can engage with it more freely, more authentically, and with far less fear of what might happen next. Through internet's endearing fascination with sad Keanu memes, often showing him alone, contemplating beautifully juxtaposes with his reported acts of quiet, almost absurd generosity and his profound philosophical outlook. It's a humorous yet poignant reminder of how society projects its own expectations and narratives onto celebrities. We see a lonely figure perhaps pitying him, but what we might actually be witnessing is a man simply at peace with his own solitude, finding quiet strength in being present, unburdened by the need to perform happiness. It's the ultimate Zen joke, isn't it? The person who, by conventional societal standards of celebrity glamour, seems to have nothing actually possesses everything: an unbreakable inner peace, a deep well of kindness, and a profound understanding of what truly matters. He's not performing sadness. He's simply existing, acknowledging the human condition without judgment, and finding strength in that raw authenticity. His enduring career, particularly his stunning resurgence with the John Wick franchise, isn't just about his acting chops or his physical prowess. It's also profoundly about his undeniable authenticity and his unique ability to connect with audiences on a deeper, more human level. People respond instinctively to his genuine nature, his quiet strength, and perhaps the unspoken wisdom he carries within him. He doesn't need to shout for attention or demand the spotlight. His presence speaks volumes, conveying a depth and integrity that few possess. His success is a testament not only to his immense talent, but to his profound ability to maintain his inner core, his true self, against the backdrop of an often superficial and artificial industry. He proves that true resilience comes not from avoiding suffering, but from facing it with a quiet, detached acceptance, allowing it to pass through you, leaving wisdom and compassion in its wake. He is, in essence, a living Zen koan for the modern age. Now, as you continue to relax, allow your mind to drift gently towards your own thoughts and feelings, especially those related to past events or future worries. Notice them just as you might notice clouds drifting across the sky. Don't try to grasp them, don't try to change them. Simply allow them to be there, and then with each exhale, gently release any attachment to them. Imagine them floating away, becoming lighter and lighter until they dissolve into the boundless, peaceful darkness. Feel the stillness growing within you, a quiet, effortless peace that invites your body to sink deeper and deeper into the comfort beneath you. This profound sense of non attachment creates an unparalleled tranquility, guiding you effortlessly towards a deep, restorative sleep. You are safe, you are at peace, As you continue to feel that profound, almost otherworldly sense of detached wisdom, allowing the waves of life's experiences to flow through you without clinging, let's broaden our horizon. We've seen how Zen principles have anchored the restless spirit of a director, grounded the boundless energy of an actor, brought humorous insight to a comedian, fueled a superstar's compassion, and fortified a stoic's resilience. But a persistent whisper might still linger in your mind. This is all well and good for Hollywood elite with personal gurus and ample time for mountain retreats. What about me? What about the relentlessly demanding, gloriously chaotic, perpetually busy reality of my life? This brings us to a crucial, often comically misunderstood point: meditation, not just for monks. For far too long, the very word meditation has been shrouded in a mist of exoticism and perceived inaccessibility. You might instinctively conjure images of saffron robed figures sitting cross legged for hours on end, eyes gently closed, perhaps levitating slightly surrounded by the faint, earthy scent of incense and the distant, perfectly timed ringing of temple bells. Or maybe you picture extreme asceticism hermits in remote caves subsisting on dewdrops and profound thoughts, their minds as clear as a freshly cleaned window pane. The popular narrative often implies that meditation is an esoteric activity strictly reserved for the spiritually enlightened, the exceptionally patient, or those fortunate few who have successfully escaped the relentless soul crushing demands of modern society. And frankly, this pervasive stereotype has done a monumental disservice to one of humanity's most powerful, practical, and utterly democratic tools for well being. It's like believing that cooking is only for Michelin star chefs in glittering kitchens, when in reality, simply boiling an egg with mindful presence can nourish you just as profoundly. Now truly consider your own daily reality. You're likely bombarded by a relentless invisible storm of digital notifications pulling your precious attention in 1,000 different urgent directions. The pressure to multitask, to optimize every waking second, to always be on and instantly responsive, can leave your mind feeling less like a serene garden and more like a cluttered attic, overflowing with half finished thoughts, forgotten tasks, and an endless parade of self doubt. Your attention is fragmented, your energy dispersed, and those precious pockets of stillness, those quiet moments that once allowed for reflection and genuine connection, seem to have vanished like a whisper in a hurricane. You're often running on an invisible treadmill, aren't you? And this incessant activity, this constant mental churn, this feeling of perpetual motion, is precisely why meditation is not just for monks. It's an urgent, fundamental necessity for the modern human navigating this delightfully insane world. Zen, in particular, with its stripped down, no frills approach and its radical emphasis on present moment awareness, is uniquely suited for our hyper-stimulated existence. It's not about escaping your life, packing a tiny bag, and moving to a quiet monastery somewhere in the Himalayas, though let's admit the thought does cross your mind on a particularly stressful Tuesday morning, usually right after your third cup of lukewarm coffee. Instead, the Zen courageously invites you to engage with your life differently. It's about finding the stillness within the noise, the calm amidst the storm. It's about bringing a heightened sense of awareness to the very act of living, whether you're stuck in soul crushing traffic, negotiating with a demanding client who seems to speak in riddles, or simply mindfully washing the dishes. It's the ultimate spiritual life hack for the perpetually busy, proving that clarity isn't just found in solitude, but in the heart of chaos. Forget the mystical aura for a moment. Think of meditation as a mental workout, a highly practical, surprisingly logical skill. Just as you might head to the gym to strengthen your physical body, you sit in meditation to train tone and strengthen your mind. You wouldn't expect to effortlessly lift 200 pounds on your very first day at the gym, would you? Similarly, you won't magically empty your mind or achieve instant blinding enlightenment after your first 5 minute sit. Oh no, your mind will likely throw a full blown tantrum, presenting you with a chaotic parade of grocery lists, brilliantly reimagined arguments from your past, and perhaps a sudden inexplicable urge to reorganize your spice rack. It's delightfully frustrating and entirely hilariously normal. This initial struggle, this wrestling with your own untamed internal monologue, is not a failure. It's precisely part of the process. It's the mind revealing its wild, untamed nature, like a mischievous kitten demanding attention, and you, the wise owner, simply observing. But through consistent, gentle practice, something quite miraculous begins to happen. You learn to observe this mental chatter without judgment. You learn to let thoughts arise and pass like puffy clouds drifting across a vast blue sky. You learn to patiently return to your breath, your ever present anchor in the present moment, again and again with unwavering patience and kindness, without self reproach. This isn't about achieving a state of nothingness, it's about cultivating a profound sense of presence, a crystal clear clarity that allows you to see things as they truly are, unclouded by the relentless, often nonsensical narrative your mind often creates. It's the ultimate undoing that ultimately helps you do everything better. And the benefits? Oh, the benefits. They extend far beyond just feeling peaceful, which, let's be honest, is a revolutionary concept in our modern age. For those famous figures we've been discussing, and for you, these simple practices translate into tangible real world advantages. Imagine enhanced focus when you're facing a complex problem, improved decision making when the stakes are incredibly high, greater emotional regulation when stress threatens to overwhelm you. Think about the surprising surge in creativity that arises when your mind isn't constantly cluttered, or the profound ability to truly listen, to genuinely connect in a world where true undivided presence is a rare and precious commodity. These aren't abstract spiritual concepts. These are practical, tangible skills that lead directly to more effective living, to deeper, more meaningful relationships, and yes, to greater success in whatever arena you choose to play. Just like that peculiar desert fish, finding an oasis of calm within allows it to thrive in the most improbable, seemingly hostile conditions. Now, as you begin to settle even more deeply into your space, allow your entire being to relax. Let's try a simple, accessible meditation together, right here, right now. You don't need any special equipment, just your willingness to be here now. Gently close your eyes or soften your gaze downwards. Bring your attention to your breath, just noticing the gentle, effortless rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. Don't try to change your breath or force it in any way. Just observe it as if it were a gentle, continuous wave washing over you. If your mind wanders, and it surely will simply acknowledge the thought, without judgment, without engaging, and gently, kindly guide your attention back to the sensation of your breath. Allow yourself to release any tension you feel in your face, your jaw, your shoulders. Feel your whole body becoming heavy and relaxed, sinking effortlessly into the surface beneath you. With each exhale, imagine releasing any remaining daytime worries, letting them dissolve into the vast open space around you. This is your personal Zen studio, always available, always ready to welcome you into a state of profound peace and deep restorative sleep. As you continue to cultivate that inner stillness, sensing how this universal practice truly is for everyone, not just those with exotic robes and endless leisure time. Let's dive a little deeper into a concept that might sound utterly bizarre at first glance, but holds an incredible secret for high performance in any field: the delightful Zen paradox of no mind, or mushin. Now, when you first hear no mind, your highly capable, often overthinking brain, the one that's probably still trying to figure out if you left the oven on or if you actually remembered to send that crucial email, might immediately recoil. No mind, but I need my mind. It's my most precious tool. How can I succeed without it? What am I, a plant? This is precisely where the delightful trickery of Zen comes in: a subtle sleight of hand for the intellect. No mind, or mushin pronounced mushin, doesn't mean you become a vegetable, utterly devoid of thought or consciousness, passively drooling in the corner. Oh no, that would be far too simple and frankly quite inconvenient for navigating rush hour traffic or remembering your anniversary. Instead, Mushin refers to a state where your mind is utterly free from the sticky glue of thoughts, emotions, and fixed notions, allowing it to act spontaneously, intuitively, and without conscious deliberation or hindrance. It's a mind that is fully present, acutely aware, vibrant and responsive, but not thinking in the usual, often cluttered sense of processing and analyzing. It's like a perfectly polished mirror that simply reflects what is without adding its own commentary, without smudges, without self consciousness. It's the difference between looking at the world and simply being the world. Consider the modern dilemma. We all face the relentless tyranny of overthinking. You're trying to make a big decision, and your mind spins endlessly, weighing pros and cons, catastrophizing every possible outcome, creating a mental traffic jam of self doubt and conflicting advice. Or perhaps you're about to give a crucial presentation, and suddenly your mind decides to put on a full blown internal Broadway show, listing every possible mistake you could make, every awkward pause, every critical judgment from the audience, sabotaging your confidence before you even open your mouth. This is the mind, our supposed greatest asset, working against us, creating what athletes often call analysis paralysis, or choking under pressure. We get so caught up in the idea of performing, or the fear of failure, or the need for perfection, that we completely lose the ability to simply perform. It's like being so worried about walking in a perfectly straight line that you trip over your own feet repeatedly. This is precisely where the Zen concept of mushin steps in as an unexpected, almost magical superpower for high performers in any field. When you operate from a state of no mind, your actions aren't filtered through layers of conscious deliberation, self consciousness, or fear. They become spontaneous, fluid, and remarkably effective. Think of a seasoned jazz musician improvising a solo. They're not consciously thinking about each note, each chord change, each subtle modulation. They're simply playing the music flowing through them as if they are merely a conduit, or a martial arts master responding to an attack with lightning speed, not by thinking about the precise technique, but by simply moving the body responding instinctively perfectly. This is the flow state that psychologists talk about, a state of optimal experience where you are fully immersed in an activity, time seems to disappear, and your skills execute themselves effortlessly. It's when you're truly in the zone, and the zone, it turns out, is remarkably free of excessive thinking. The humor in trying to achieve no mind is abundantly clear if you've ever attempted it. You sit down determined to not think, and suddenly your brain decides to put on the most comprehensive, distracting internal monologue of its entire existence. Don't think about the pink elephant, it commands, and suddenly all you can see is a very large, very pink elephant tap dancing enthusiastically in your mental living room. It's a beautifully absurd struggle, isn't it? The harder you try to achieve no mind, the more mind you paradoxically create. It's the ultimate Zen joke, a cosmic, don't think about it. But through consistent, gentle practice, by simply observing the thoughts, without engaging, by repeatedly returning to the anchor of your breath, you begin to create tiny pauses, little gaps in the continuous stream of chatter. And in those precious gaps, a different kind of awareness emerges, clear, spacious, and profoundly responsive, like a perfectly calm pond suddenly reflecting the entire sky. For our famous figures, while they may not explicitly use the term mushin in their acceptance speeches or press conferences, their Zen practices cultivate this very state. Imagine an actor like Keanu Reeves delivering a complex emotional line with perfect spontaneity and authenticity, not by overthinking every nuance, but by being so utterly present that the words simply emerge from a deeper well. Or Oliver Stone making a split second high stakes directorial decision on a chaotic set, not from frantic calculation, but from an intuitive knowing that cuts through the noise and ego. Or perhaps a musical artist stepping onto a massive stage, allowing the music to flow through them rather than consciously trying to perform, reaching a level of connection that transcends mere notes. Their enduring success often stems from an ability to get out of their own intellectual way, allowing their honed skills and creative intuition to take over unhindered by the often detrimental interference of the conscious, self critical, thinking mind. It's the ultimate trust exercise with your own innate wisdom, allowing the universe to flow through you. Remember that peculiar desert fish we spoke of apparently trying to find water? The profound paradox was that it wasn't trying at all. It was simply moving instinctively towards its survival, unburdened by analysis paralysis or self doubt. In the same way, achieving mushin is not about trying to have no thoughts, but about allowing the mind to naturally settle, to become clear so that your actions flow with effortless grace and remarkable effectiveness. When you stop fighting the current, when you release the need to control every ripple, you become one with the current. It's a profound liberation from the tyranny of the internal monologue, a freedom that allows you to tap into a deeper well of wisdom and capability than you ever thought possible. Now, as you continue to relax, allow your conscious mind to gently step aside. You don't need to think about falling asleep. Sleep is a natural process like breathing, like your heart beating. Imagine your mind as a vast open night sky with stars twinkling in the distance. The thoughts that arise are like tiny clouds briefly obscuring a star. Just observe them without engaging, without judgment. Don't try to push them away. Simply let them drift by becoming more and more transparent until they gently dissolve into the boundless darkness. Feel the stillness growing within you, a quiet, effortless peace that invites your body to sink deeper and deeper into the comfort beneath you. This is the peaceful, effortless state of no mind, perfect for welcoming a profound and restorative deep sleep. As you embrace the liberating wisdom of no mind, feeling the quiet spaciousness that arises when you simply allow thoughts to drift, we naturally arrive at another profound Zen concept that flies in the face of nearly everything modern society, especially Hollywood, tirelessly teaches us letting go of the script. This isn't about abandoning your carefully planned daily schedule or simply giving up on your life goals. Oh no, it's about understanding how releasing your fierce, often suffocating attachment to specific outcomes can, with delightful irony, lead to even greater, more fulfilling, and surprisingly spontaneous success. Imagine, if you will, the typical high stakes Hollywood scenario. A blockbuster movie is being meticulously crafted, its destiny determined by a single, colossal opening weekend. Millions of dollars are on the line, careers hang precariously in the balance, and the entire production team is hyper focused on one singular, magnificent outcome: a box office smash, critical acclaim that gleams like an Oscar statue, perhaps a string of lucrative sequels, and certainly universal adoration. Every single person involved, from the visionary director to the most meticulous prop master, is consumed by the desire to control the result. The entire enterprise is rigidly scripted, not just in terms of dialogue and camera angles, but in terms of expected returns and predicted public reception. This relentless pursuit of a precise outcome, this fervent and often desperate attachment to a predetermined future, is a hallmark of ambition, isn't it? And it's not just Hollywood. You feel it in your own life. The job promotion you absolutely must get, the perfect presentation you have to nail, the ideal vacation that needs to go exactly as planned, the precise amount of sleep you must achieve tonight. But here's the rub, and it's a classic Zen punchline whispered with a knowing smile. This intense, white knuckled attachment to specific outcomes often creates the very anxiety, frustration, and rigidity that inadvertently prevents the best possible outcome from emerging. When you cling too tightly to a particular result, you become profoundly blind to alternative possibilities. You lose your precious flexibility, and you paralyze yourself with the crippling fear of failure. It's like clutching a handful of fine beach sand so desperately that it slips through your tightly clenched fingers. You're so utterly desperate for the perfect result, you ironically strangle the very organic process that could lead to it. It's the ultimate human paradox, wanting something so badly, so fiercely, that your very wanting sabotages your intrinsic ability to receive it. You are trying to direct the audience's exact emotional response rather than simply telling a compelling story. Zen, with its delightful knack for turning conventional wisdom on its head, teaches us the profound art of non attachment to outcomes. And please, let's be exquisitely clear, this is not about not caring. It's not about becoming apathetic or lazy, lying on the couch, watching reruns and shrugging. Whatever happens, happens, man. Oh no, that would be spiritual bypass, not genuine Zen insight. Non attachment means putting in your absolute best effort, meticulously planning, working diligently, pouring your heart and soul into the process with every ounce of your being, and then with a profound sigh of release, letting go of the iron grip you have on how it must turn out. It's about trusting the organic process itself, allowing for the unexpected, and cultivating the deep wisdom to adapt with grace when things inevitably veer wildly off your meticulously crafted script. It's like planting a seed. You provide it with water, soil, and sunlight, but you trust the inherent wisdom of nature to determine when and how it sprouts, rather than constantly digging it up to check its progress. The humor in this concept is subtle but profound, especially if you've ever found yourself trying to explain it to a high octane executive fresh off a multi billion-dollar deal. So you're telling me to stop trying so hard to succeed? They might ask, eyes narrowing in suspicion. But my entire life has been built on trying hard. My success is the direct result of trying hard, and you can almost hear a mischievous Zen master chuckling into their ceremonial teacup. Indeed, dear one, now try not trying so hard. The internal struggle to truly embrace this idea is immense. Your ego, that cunning little voice that constantly whispers, you're not enough unless you achieve X, Y, and Z, will put up a formidable, often hilarious fight. It's like trying to convince a fish in a desert to stop worrying about water. It's so utterly ingrained in its very being. But the paradox remains: sometimes the fastest, most effective way to get where you truly want to go is to stop frantically trying to force it and simply allow it to unfold. Consider how this profound Zen wisdom might manifest in the often turbulent careers of our famous figures. An actor who is desperately, frantically trying to win an Oscar might deliver a stilted, forced performance, their every move consumed by the desperate desire for external recognition. Their bowl is so full of the need for that specific award that they can't genuinely appreciate the vast buffet of their other achievements. But an actor who profoundly loves their craft, who pours their heart into each role for the sheer joy of the creation itself, and then simply releases the outcome, might find that awards recognition and even unexpected, truly fulfilling opportunities flow effortlessly towards them, seemingly without conscious effort. Their empty bowl is perfectly ready to receive unburdened by rigid expectations. A director obsessed with rigid box office numbers might compromise their artistic vision only to create a mediocre film that ironically fails anyway. But a director who deeply trusts their creative intuition lets go of the desperate need for external validation and focuses purely on telling the most authentic story possible might create a masterpiece that resonates deeply, finding unexpected, profound success precisely because it was real, unforced, and true to itself. This profound liberation from the tyranny of outcome attachment fosters immense resilience. When your happiness, your sense of self worth, isn't solely tied to whether Plan A succeeds perfectly, then the inevitable detours, the unexpected setbacks, and even the spectacular failures become less devastating. They transform from soul crushing defeats into mere feedback, valuable opportunities for adaptation learning and profound growth. You become like a master improviser on a grand stage, ready for any twist in the plot, ready to dance with the unexpected, rather than a rigid actor, stubbornly sticking to a script that no longer serves the scene. This ability to flow, to adapt, to simply be with whatever arises, is an incredible strength in the unpredictable, often chaotic currents of life and career. It's a superpower that allows you to remain calm, creative, and utterly authentic, even when the original script has been tossed out the window, replaced by a wonderfully spontaneous, unwritten scene. Remember our intrepid desert fish we spoke of earlier? It wasn't attached to finding water in a specific location or at a specific time. It wasn't frantically trying to summon an oasis with sheer willpower or a detailed hydrological map. No, it was simply moving instinctively, sensing the moisture responding to the subtle cues of its environment, unburdened by rigid expectations. Its success in finding water arose from an unforced action, a natural flow, rather than a desperate outcome driven struggle. When you stop trying to wrestle the universe into submission, when you release that tight grip of control, you might just find it opens doors you never even knew existed, leading you to an unexpected, profound oasis of your own. Now, as you prepare for a truly deep and restorative sleep, allow yourself to practice this beautiful art of letting go. Don't attach yourself to the outcome of how you will sleep. Don't demand 8 perfect hours, or instantly fall into a dreamless void, or wake up feeling like a freshly laundered superhero. Simply release the need to control. Gently acknowledge any thoughts that arise. I need to sleep now. I hope I don't wake up. What if I can't sleep? And then just as gently let them float away. Focus instead on the simple, profound sensation of your body relaxing, the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Trust that your body knows what to do, that it holds an ancient wisdom far beyond your conscious efforts. Surrender to the process. With each slow, soft exhale, imagine pouring out any last bits of attachment to expectation, to control, to anything beyond this very moment. Sink deeper, simply allowing sleep to arrive on its own perfect, unwritten script. As you effortlessly release any lingering attachment to specific outcomes, feeling the profound freedom that comes from simply being rather than desperately achieving. Let's turn our attention to another powerful facet of Zen that's particularly challenging and thus particularly rewarding in the modern world: mindfulness in the limelight. Imagine, if you will, being under the unblinking gaze of millions. Every gesture, every blink, every casual word, meticulously dissected, judged, and preserved on the digital ether for all eternity. This isn't just the unique plight of a celebrity. It's a hyper-amplified, technologically turbocharged version of what many of us now experience in our daily lives, where the perceived scrutiny of social media, the constant comparison, and the subtle pressure to present a perfectly curated self can feel uncannily like living in a human-sized terrarium. Consider for a moment the relentless reality of a famous person's existence. From the exact moment they step out their front door, they are potentially on. Red carpets become performance art talk show. Appearances are tightly choreographed ballets of personality. Film sets are crucibles of creation and conflict, and even a seemingly innocuous trip to the grocery store can transform into an unplanned public event, complete with impromptu fan encounters and surreptitious smartphone camera flashes. Paparazzi lenses zoom in with predatory precision. Every casual word is recorded for posterity and potential scandal, and every facial expression is cataloged and analyzed. Imagine trying to simply be yourself when you know millions of eyes are watching, or more accurately judging, interpreting, and projecting their own narratives onto your very being. The mind naturally tends to race into overdrive. Am I standing correctly? Is my smile authentic enough? Or does it look like I'm forcing it? Did I just say something foolish that will become tomorrow's meme? What will the internet say about this tomorrow? And will it destroy my career? This constant external pressure pulls your attention away from the richness of the present moment, fragmenting your focus, creating a relentless hum of self consciousness that can make true peace feel as elusive as a coherent plot line in a summer blockbuster about time travel. And while you may not face the daily barrage of paparazzi or the pressure of a global fan base, the feeling of being observed, of being judged, is deeply familiar. You navigate social situations, professional meetings, family gatherings, and even your own internal dialogue with an acute awareness of how you are perceived. The pressure to fit in, to impress, to avoid awkwardness, to embody a certain ideal can make you feel like you're constantly performing rather than simply being. Your mind can become a noisy echo chamber of hypothetical judgments and future anxieties, pulling you away from the vibrant, unfolding reality of the present moment. It's a common, if exhausting, human condition, this internal distraction, this tendency to live anywhere but precisely here and now. This is precisely where Zen's profound, almost outrageously simple solution of mindfulness steps in as the ultimate antidote. Mindfulness, in its simplest, most direct form, is the practice of bringing full, non judgmental awareness to the present moment. It's about noticing what's happening, both internally, thoughts, emotions, sensations, and externally, sights, sounds, smells, without getting caught in the story, without clinging to the pleasant or resisting the unpleasant. For a celebrity, this translates to finding radical freedom within the fishbowl rather than desperately trying to smash the glass or escape it. It's about realizing that while the cameras might be rolling, while the critics might be typing furiously, your internal state remains your own sovereign territory. It's about choosing to be present with your breath, with your body, with that actual conversation happening, rather than getting entangled in the whirlwind of external expectations or internal self critique. It's the art of witnessing the grand spectacle of your life without becoming utterly consumed by the performance. The humor in trying to be mindfully present while being meticulously scrutinized by millions is almost too perfect for a Zen koan, isn't it? Imagine a famous actor, perhaps one of our previous examples, attempting to find their center amidst the controlled chaos of a red carpet premiere. Their internal monologue might go something like this: okay, breathe. Inhale, calm, exhale. Existential dread about the Rotten Tomatoes score. Oh, look, another flash. Is that my good side? No judgment, remember. Just observe. Is my posture sufficiently Zen like yet approachable? Am I radiating genuine inner peace, or just the glow of a very expensive highlighter? Oh dear, I think I just sneezed on a reporter. Was that a mindful sneeze, or a spontaneous biological malfunction that will derail my carefully crafted public image? It's a hilarious, utterly relatable struggle, isn't it? The very act of trying to be mindful can sometimes feel like just another performance, another layer of self consciousness, another thing to get right. But through persistent, gentle practice, the effort falls away, and genuine, unadorned presence emerges pure and radiant. This is where the likes of Keanu Reeves truly shine. His seemingly effortless composure, his quiet, unruffled presence, even in the most intense and intrusive interviews, is a testament to deep seated mindfulness. He's not performing Zen, He's simply being Keanu, responding authentically rather than reactively. He can listen intently, pause thoughtfully, and offer responses that feel profoundly grounded and real precisely because he's not busy calculating his next move or worrying about the headline. Similarly, Jeff Bridges' signature groundedness, his ability to simply abide through the inevitable vagaries of a long, illustrious career, reflects a deep present moment awareness that allows him to remain unruffled by the inevitable storms of fame. Their mindfulness doesn't make them aloof or distant. It makes them more genuinely human, more relatable, because they are simply there fully and beautifully present. And here lies the delicious, liberating paradox. The more you are truly present, the more authentically yourself you become. When you stop performing for others, when you gently release the desperate need for external validation and simply inhabit your own skin fully and comfortably, you paradoxically enhance your connection with others. The spotlight, instead of feeling like a suffocating cage, transforms into a mirror reflecting your true, unadorned self. When you are truly mindful, you are not trying to impress. You are simply being. And that profound authenticity, that raw, unforced presence, is far more compelling, more enduring, and more genuinely successful than any meticulously crafted image could ever hope to be. It's what allows these figures to not just survive the relentless glare of the limelight, but to truly radiate within it, creating a deep, lasting connection with their audience that goes far beyond fleeting fame, built on the solid ground of genuine presence. Now, as you continue to relax deeply, allow this idea of mindful presence to wash over you. There's no need to perform, no need to impress anyone, not even yourself. Just let your body sink further into its peaceful embrace. Bring your full gentle awareness to the sensations of your body, now feeling its weight, its warmth, the subtle currents of air on your skin. Notice your breath without judgment as it effortlessly flows in and out. If any thoughts of self-consciousness or worries about what others think arise, simply acknowledge them. Imagine them as fleeting whispers or distant echoes that gently fade away, and then kindly gently release them, allowing them to dissolve into the vast open space of your present moment. This moment is yours, untainted by external scrutiny, perfectly safe, perfectly peaceful, leading you effortlessly towards a deep restorative sleep. As you continue to embody that peaceful, mindful presence, allowing the quiet spaciousness to settle within you, let's explore a concept that at first blush might seem utterly contradictory to the very notion of success in Hollywood, or indeed in any high stakes arena, the empty bowl of ambition. This isn't about ditching your aspirations or settling for mediocrity. Oh no, that would be far too simplistic and frankly quite boring. Instead, it's about understanding how Zen's counterintuitive idea of non striving can, with delightful irony, lead to profound achievement, much like a perfectly designed, completely empty bowl is ready to receive anything nourishing and fulfilling. Imagine the relentless, almost frenetic hum of ambition that pulses through the very veins of modern society. You see it everywhere, don't you? The constant, insatiable pursuit of more. More money, more fame, more influence, more followers, more accolades, more likes. It's a never ending treadmill, a relentless chase after a perpetually moving finish line that seems to recede just as you get close. The anxiety this incessant striving creates is palpable. You're constantly looking ahead, measuring yourself against an external yardstick that keeps shifting, often feeling like you're not quite there, yet no matter how much you achieve. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a massive hole in the bottom. The harder you try, the more frantic your efforts become, the more exhausted you feel, and the bucket remains perpetually half empty, a constant reminder of what you don't have. This relentless grasping, this desperate need for a specific predetermined outcome, can ironically blind you to genuine opportunities and drain you of the very energy needed to succeed. Zen, with its delightful sideways wisdom, offers a radical, almost subversive, alternative non striving. Now, please, let's be exquisitely clear, this is not about apathy or passivity. Zen doesn't tell you to sit on a cushion, twiddle your thumbs, and wait for enlightenment to strike you like a stray lightning bolt from a perfectly clear sky. Oh no, that would be spiritual bypass, not genuine Zen insight. Instead, non striving means engaging, fully pouring your absolute best effort into your actions, meticulously planning, diligently working, honing your craft with every fiber of your being, and then, with a profound sigh of release, letting go of the iron grip you have on how it must turn out. It's about trusting the organic process itself, allowing for the unexpected, and cultivating the deep wisdom to adapt with grace when things inevitably veer wildly off your meticulously crafted script. It's like planting a seed. You provide it with water, rich soil, and sunlight, but you then trust the inherent wisdom of nature to determine when and how it sprouts, rather than constantly digging it up to check its progress, thereby destroying its very potential. Consider the metaphor of the empty bowl. A bowl, when it's already full, can't receive anything more, can it? Its utility for receiving is exhausted. It's stagnant, unable to adapt. But a truly empty bowl is profoundly useful. It's perfectly ready to be filled with whatever nourishment is offered, whether it's a simple, sustaining meal or perhaps a rare, unexpected delicacy. In the same way, when your ambition is a rigid, overflowing container relentlessly grasping for a specific outcome, it often leaves no room for the unexpected, for new possibilities, for the natural flow of life's profound abundance. But when your ambition becomes an empty bowl, when you release the desperate striving and the need to control the outcome, your mind becomes spacious, receptive, and profoundly open to receiving precisely what serves your highest good, often in ways you never could have planned or even imagined. The humor in this concept is almost palpable, especially if you've ever found yourself trying to explain it to a high octane executive fresh off a multi billion-dollar deal. So you're telling me to stop trying so hard to succeed? They might ask, eyes narrowing in genuine suspicion. But my entire life has been built on trying hard. My success is the direct result of trying hard. And you can almost hear a mischievous Zen master chuckling into their ceremonial teacup, perhaps remarking, "Indeed, dear one, now try not trying so hard." The internal struggle to truly embrace this idea is immense. Your ego, that cunning little voice that constantly whispers, "You're not enough unless you achieve X, Y, and Z," will put up a formidable, often hilarious fight. It's like trying to convince a fish in a desert to stop worrying about water when its entire being is screaming for it. It's so utterly ingrained in its very essence. But the paradox remains, sometimes the fastest, most effective way to get where you truly want to go is to stop frantically trying to force it and simply allow it to unfold. Think about how this profound Zen wisdom might manifest in the often turbulent careers of our famous figures. An actor who spends their entire career desperately frantically chasing a specific award might deliver a stilted, forced performance, their every move consumed by the desperate desire for external recognition. Their bowl is so full of the need for that specific award that they can't genuinely appreciate the vast buffet of their other achievements. But an actor who profoundly loves their craft, who pours their heart into each role for the sheer joy of the creation itself, and then simply releases the outcome, might find that awards recognition and even unexpected, truly fulfilling opportunities flow effortlessly towards them, seemingly without conscious effort. Their empty bowl is perfectly ready to receive unburdened by rigid expectations. A director obsessed with rigid box office numbers might compromise their artistic vision only to create a mediocre film that ironically fails anyway. But a director who deeply trusts their creative intuition lets go of the desperate need for external validation and focuses purely on telling the most authentic story possible might create a masterpiece that resonates profoundly, finding unexpected organic success precisely because it was real, unforced, and true to itself. This profound liberation from the tyranny of outcome attachment fosters immense resilience. When your happiness, your sense of self worth, isn't solely tied to whether Plan A succeeds perfectly, then the inevitable detours, the unexpected setbacks, and even the spectacular failures become less devastating. They transform from soul crushing defeats into mere feedback valuable opportunities for adaptation learning and profound growth. You become like a master improviser on a grand stage, ready for any twist in the plot, ready to dance with the unexpected rather than a rigid actor, stubbornly sticking to a script that no longer serves the scene. This ability to flow, to adapt, to simply be with whatever arises, is an incredible strength in the unpredictable, often chaotic currents of life and career. It's a superpower that allows you to remain calm, creative, and utterly authentic, even when the original script has been tossed out the window, replaced by a wonderfully spontaneous, unwritten scene that is far more compelling. Remember our intrepid desert fish we spoke of earlier? It wasn't attached to finding water in a specific location or at a specific time with a specific mineral content. It wasn't frantically trying to summon an oasis with sheer willpower or a detailed hydrological map. No, it was simply moving instinctively, sensing the moisture responding to the subtle cues of its environment, unburdened by rigid expectations. Its success in finding water arose from an unforced action, a natural flow, rather than a desperate outcome driven struggle. When you stop trying to wrestle the universe into submission, when you release that tight grip of control, you might just find it opens doors you never even knew existed, leading you to an unexpected, profound oasis of your own making. Now, as you prepare for a truly deep and restorative sleep, allow yourself to practice this beautiful art of letting go. Don't attach yourself to the outcome of how you will sleep. Don't demand 8 perfect hours or instantly fall into a dreamless void or wake up feeling like a freshly laundered superhero. Simply release the need to control. Gently acknowledge any thoughts that arise. I need to sleep now. I hope I don't wake up. What if I can't sleep? And then just as gently let them float away like leaves on a gentle stream. Focus instead on the simple, profound sensation of your body relaxing the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Trust that your body knows what to do, that it holds an ancient wisdom far beyond your conscious efforts. Surrender to the process. With each slow, soft exhale, imagine pouring out any last bits of attachment to expectation, to control, to anything beyond this very moment. Sink deeper, simply allowing sleep to arrive on its own perfect, unwritten script. As you continue to luxuriate in that profound freedom that comes from letting go of the script, allowing life to unfold on its own spontaneous terms, let's pivot our gaze to a crucial, often comically challenging aspect of Zen practice, finding Zen in daily chaos. This isn't about retreating to a mountain cave, abandoning your smartphone, or renouncing all your worldly possessions. Oh no, that would be far too easy, and frankly, a bit inconvenient for most of us. Instead, it's about discovering how to weave profound peace and presence into the very fabric of your bustling, often gloriously messy, everyday existence, proving that your life is your monastery. For most of us, life feels less like a tranquil Zen garden and more like a perpetually overflowing inbox. You're balancing work deadlines, family obligations, social engagements, health goals, and that ever present mental to do list that multiplies faster than rabbits. The digital world constantly pulls at your attention, urging you to respond, to react, to consume, to scroll. It's a relentless low grade hum of activity, isn't it? Now amplify that by 1,000 for our famous individuals. Imagine their lives, transatlantic flights, back to back interviews, where they answer the same questions, 20 times grueling film schedules that defy the laws of physics, public appearances, where every blink is captured, and the perpetual, exhausting management of a global brand. Their daily chaos is often on a scale that would make your head spin faster than a director's chair during a passionate, ego driven argument. The pervasive myth, of course, is that Zen demands a quiet, isolated environment, a remote monastery, a secluded cabin, a meditation cushion untouched by the dust bunnies of daily life. But if that were truly the case, none of our Hollywood Zen masters would ever have found their footing. They'd still be lost in the chaos, perhaps endlessly searching for a Zen retreat in the middle of a Los Angeles freeway. Zen, in its most radical and liberating form, teaches us that your life is your monastery. Your daily commute, your bustling office, your noisy home, even that chaotic film set. These are not obstacles to your practice, but the very ground of your practice. It's not about escaping the world's demands, but about fully engaging with them yet differently. It's about cultivating an inner stillness that can coexist effortlessly with external movement, like the deep calm at the eye of a hurricane or the quiet strength of a tree bending gracefully in the wind. It's about finding the sacred in the seemingly mundane, noticing the profound in the simple act of breathing, walking, or even mindfully washing the dishes. The paradox is beautifully empowering. The more fully you engage with the present moment, the more detached you become from its overwhelming nature. It's the ultimate life hack for the perpetually busy, teaching you how to slow down time by truly being in it. The humor in trying to integrate Zen into the glorious mess of daily life is something we can all relate to, perhaps with a wry, knowing smile. You picture a celebrity, perhaps one of our previous examples, trying to meditate for 5 minutes between a frantic wardrobe fitting and a high pressure press junket. Their agent is yelling about schedules. Their publicist is checking their phone every 3 seconds, and they're trying to focus on their breath amidst the blinding flash of cameras and the incessant chatter. Their internal monologue might sound something like, okay, breathe in, peace. Breathe out, existential dread about box office numbers. Is that a wrinkle on my forehead? No judgment, remember? Just observe. Oh, wait, the director wants me on set. Now, was that a mindful sprint or just panic induced adrenaline? It's a beautifully human struggle, isn't it? The delightful contrast between the idealized image of serene enlightenment and the messy, hilariously relatable reality of trying to find peace while your life is a constant circus act. But this is precisely where the real gritty work of Zen shines. It's not about grand gestures, it's about micro practices. It's about taking just one conscious, deep breath before answering a demanding email or before reacting to an infuriating comment. It's about fully tasting your morning coffee, feeling its warmth and bitterness, rather than gulping it down while scrolling through your phone, mindlessly consuming digital calories. It's about feeling your feet connect with the ground as you walk from one chaotic scene to the next, just for a few deliberate steps, noticing the sensation. These small, seemingly insignificant moments of presence accumulate like tiny drops of water, slowly but surely filling a vast reservoir. They build an inner sanctuary, a portable temple that you can retreat to, not by physically leaving the world, but by simply shifting your attention just for a moment. Imagine Keanu Reeves calmly navigating the crowded subway, not lost in thought or absorbed by his phone, but simply present with the moment, observing the people around him with a quiet, non judgmental curiosity. Or Oliver Stone, perhaps taking a mindful pause between takes, allowing the swirling intensity of his creative vision to settle into a quiet clarity before the next demanding shot, rather than letting himself be consumed by the chaos. Or Jeff Bridges, bringing his effortless acceptance to a tense negotiation, not by trying to control the outcome, but by simply being fully present with the dialogue, allowing solutions to emerge organically from the space of quiet observation. Their remarkable ability to remain grounded, present, and authentically themselves amidst the relentless, often absurd demands of their careers is a testament to this continuous, subtle integration of Zen principles into the very fabric of their everyday lives. They found their oasis not by seeking a separate paradise, but by cultivating one right in the very midst of their desert, bringing water to the seemingly parched ground of their existence. This is the liberating truth that Zen offers you. You don't need to change your external circumstances to find peace. You simply need to change your relationship to them. Your busy, demanding, occasionally absurd, and wonderfully unique life is your spiritual path. Every challenge, every interaction, every mundane task becomes a precious opportunity to practice presence, to let go of attachment, to find your own quiet wisdom. It's a continuous, unfolding invitation to wake up to the richness of the present moment, even when that moment involves a frantic deadline, a screaming child, or a perfectly spilled coffee. It's a testament to the profound power of simply being here now, no matter where here happens to be, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, simply by seeing it with fresh eyes. Now, as you continue to relax, allow yourself to notice the gentle rhythm of your own breathing. Feel the sensations of your body, perhaps the warmth of your covers, the gentle coolness of the air on your skin. Imagine just for a moment that your bed is your own personal meditation cushion and this room your own private, perfect temple. Release any lingering thoughts about your day or any plans for tomorrow. With each exhale, imagine letting go of the need to do anything, to be anywhere, except exactly where you are right now in this moment. Allow the stillness that you are cultivating in this very moment to deepen, creating a profound sense of peace that will carry you effortlessly into a deep, restorative sleep. This moment is perfect. As you find yourself nestled comfortably in the quiet eye of your personal storm, effortlessly integrating mindful moments into the tapestry of your day, we arrive at perhaps the most formidable and certainly the most delightfully mischievous adversary on the path to Zen wisdom for celebrities and for you, ego's slippery slope to enlightenment. This isn't about shaming the ego. Oh no, that would just inflate it further, making it puff out its chest and declare, "Look at me, I'm so good at being shamed. I'm the best at having no ego." Instead, it's about understanding this intricate, often demanding inner character that constantly narrates our lives and the delightful, often uproarious challenge of moving beyond its incessant, self serving demands. The ego, in its simplest, most fundamental form, is that part of us that creates the I. It's the gatekeeper of our identity, the relentless internal publicist that constantly compares judges, seeks validation, and desperately tries to control everything. It's the voice that whispers, "You're not good enough," or bellows with booming confidence, "You're better than everyone else." It thrives on distinction, on being separate, on collecting achievements and accolades as if they were rare, shiny Pokemon cards, each one adding to its perceived collection of self worth. It's a necessary mechanism for navigating the complex social world, of course, allowing us to function, to set boundaries, to achieve goals. But left unchecked, it can become a tireless taskmaster, a relentless drill sergeant, pushing you to chase an endless stream of external fixes for internal insecurities. Imagine it as a demanding personal assistant who keeps telling you what you should be, what you should have, and what everyone else thinks of you, ensuring you are never truly at peace. Now take this perfectly normal, albeit often exhausting human trait and drop it into the dazzling, often dizzying environment of Hollywood. Here, the ego isn't just tolerated, it's practically a job requirement, a mandatory character trait in the job description. Fame itself is the ultimate ego magnifier, isn't it? Every award, every cheering crowd, every glowing review, every fan clamoring for an autograph, every headline screaming your name, it all feeds that hungry, insatiable I. You're constantly being told how important, how talented, how beautiful, how indispensable you are. It's an intoxicating cocktail of adulation and validation that can easily lead even the most grounded individual to believe their own press to mistake the role they play for their true self. The challenge for famous people then isn't just to manage their ego, but to prevent it from becoming a monstrous, unhinged beast that devours their authenticity, their humility, and ultimately their peace of mind. It's like trying to maintain a healthy diet when you're constantly being offered free, delicious, perfectly frosted, calorie laden cupcakes from every direction. It's a spiritual gym for ego management, and the weights are incredibly heavy. Zen, with its gentle yet profoundly radical philosophy, directly challenges the ego's supremacy. It whispers about no self and emptiness, concepts that sound utterly terrifying to an ego that clings to its identity like a barnacle to a rapidly sinking ship. The path to Zen wisdom is often perceived by the ego as the ultimate existential threat, a personal apocalypse where its very existence is called into question. What do you mean I have to let go of me? It shrieks a tiny panic stricken voice in your head. But I just signed a multi picture deal. I perfected this craft. I am responsible for all this success. Will I still get my VIP parking spot if I'm no self? It's a hilarious internal wrestling match, this profound struggle to dismantle the very structure of self that you've spent a lifetime meticulously building. The ego, in its cunning, will even try to become enlightened to prove it's the best at Zen, making the practice itself another arena for self aggrandizement. This is where the humor in the Zen journey truly shines, especially when applied to high profile figures. Imagine an actor fresh off a major award trying to sit in meditation. Their ego is probably doing a full blown victory dance in their mind. Look at me, I'm so enlightened, I'm meditating better than everyone else. This Zen thing is really working for me. I'm practically a celebrity monk. The spiritual ego is perhaps the most cunning of all, subtly using the pursuit of wisdom to inflate itself even further, congratulating itself on how spiritual or detached it has become. It's like trying to achieve humility by loudly boasting about how humble you are, a perfectly absurd contradiction. But Zen, in its profound wisdom, uses this very absurdity, this constant stumbling and self correction to illuminate the ego's endless tricks. The path isn't about being flawless, it's about seeing the flaws with a compassionate, knowing smile. The paradox is profound. The ego, in its relentless drive for distinction and validation, can indeed propel you to tremendous external success. But it's also the fundamental source of immense suffering, the fear of not being enough, the crippling anxiety of constant comparison, the bitter disappointment when things don't go your way, the profound loneliness of being perpetually on and never truly seen. Zen doesn't ask you to obliterate or destroy the ego, for that would be another act of aggression. Instead, it invites you to see through its illusions, to understand its mechanisms, and to gently loosen its relentless grip. When the ego steps aside, even for a moment, what emerges isn't a bland, personalityless void. Oh no. What emerges is your authentic self, unburdened by the constant need for external validation, truly powerful because its strength comes from within, from a boundless well of presence, not from fleeting external achievements. It's like taking off a heavy, ornate, often uncomfortable costume and finally being able to move freely, beautifully, spontaneously as yourself. Consider how the Zen practice of our featured celebrities helps them navigate these treacherous ego traps. While we can't peek into their inner monologues during a private meditation session, their public personas often reflect a remarkable groundedness and humility despite their immense fame. Keanu Reeves' quiet dignity and utter lack of ostentation, Jeff Bridges' unruffled ease that borders on cosmic indifference, Richard Gere's selfless activism that consistently directs attention away from himself. These aren't just personality quirks, they are likely reflections of a conscious, persistent effort to keep the ego in check, to remember that the self that performs on screen or commands attention is ultimately a role to be played of fleeting projection, not to be clung to desperately. They understand that the applause, like the criticism, is just wind passing through the empty branches of the tree line. Their success endures not because their egos are massive, but because they've learned to gently quiet them, allowing their true, unadorned talents and authentic selves to shine through with a radiant, unforced brilliance. The desert fish, in its instinctual struggle for survival, isn't concerned with being the most important fish or the fish with the most likes from other desert creatures. It simply is authentically navigating its environment, unburdened by the need to prove its worth. Now, as you continue to relax, allow your awareness to gently observe any subtle stirrings of your own ego. Perhaps it's a thought about something you should have done or something you should be. Perhaps it's a tiny spark of self judgment or a flicker of comparison to someone else, that familiar whisper of not enough. Just notice these thoughts, but without judgment, without engaging in their often dramatic storylines. Acknowledge them, and then with each slow, soft exhale, imagine gently releasing their grip. Feel your identity softening, expanding beyond its usual rigid boundaries. There is no need to prove anything, no need to be anything other than exactly who you are right now in this moment. Allow yourself to rest in this profound sense of spaciousness, letting your true, unburdened being emerge, welcoming a deep, peaceful, and truly transformative sleep. This quiet surrender is your deepest strength. As you gently release the clinging grasp of ego, feeling the quiet wisdom that emerges from simply being rather than desperately proving. Let's turn our gaze to another pervasive, glittering mirage that ego often thrives upon, especially in the most visible of arenas beyond the red carpet illusion. This isn't about criticizing the entertainment industry. Oh no, that would be far too simplistic and frankly a bit too judgmental for our Zen journey. Instead, it's about acknowledging the intoxicating, seductive, yet ultimately superficial and fleeting nature of fame itself, and how a truly clear mind can see through its dazzling, often hollow promises. Imagine, if you will, the vibrant, pulsating spectacle that is the red carpet. It's a dizzying tableau of glamour, a shimmering tapestry of flashing lights, bespoke designer gowns, and adoring fans screaming your name as if you've just personally saved the universe. For those walking it, it's often seen as the absolute pinnacle of recognition, the ultimate external validation of their hard work, their innate talent, and their sheer, undeniable charisma. But what is fame really when you strip away all the dazzling lights and the manufactured hype? It's a collective agreement, isn't it? A shared, often fragile illusion that imbues certain individuals with an extraordinary, almost mythical significance simply because their faces are known, their names whispered in hushed tones, and their lives endlessly dissected in tabloids and on social media. It's a powerful drug, intoxicating and highly addictive, promising boundless love, universal admiration, and the sweet illusion of everlasting importance. But like any illusion, any heat haze shimmering over a desert, any fragile bubble floating in the wind, it's fundamentally insubstantial, utterly ephemeral, and dissipates as quickly as it appears. The profound problem for those who find themselves irresistibly caught in its mesmerizing glow is that this powerful illusion can subtly, imperceptibly become their primary reality. They might begin to genuinely believe the hype, to mistake the thunderous applause for true unconditional connection, the glowing headlines for genuine meaning, the public persona for their authentic self. They become tragically trapped in a gilded golden cage, constantly performing, endlessly chasing the next wave of adoration to maintain that fragile external sense of worth. It's a relentless, exhausting cycle, isn't it? Even for you not navigating the red carpet, the relentless pursuit of external validation, a promotion at work, a compliment from a friend, a certain number of likes on your latest social media post can become an insatiable hunger, subtly pulling you away from the intrinsic value of your own being. You are constantly looking for others to reflect your worth rather than finding it whole and complete within yourself. Zen, with its unwavering, almost stubbornly persistent commitment to seeing things precisely as they truly are, offers a potent, almost comically direct antidote to this glamorous deception. It encourages you to strip away the countless layers of illusion, to peel back the carefully constructed facades, and to recognize the profound impermanence mujo of all phenomena, including the fleeting nature of fame itself. It's about understanding the fundamental emptiness, sunyata of phenomena, not as a void of meaning, but as the lack of any fixed, independent, inherent self existence. Fame, like everything else, is just a collection of causes and conditions, a momentary arising and passing away. This doesn't for a moment devalue the hard work, the talent, or the creative output that often leads to fame. Oh no, it simply recontextualizes its rewards, placing them wisely within the larger, ever changing, ultimately more authentic tapestry of existence. It's about recognizing that the empty bowl applies not just to desperate ambition, but to the very concept of being somebody, enabling you to hold your identity lightly, like a handful of air. The humor in this is deliciously poignant, a self deprecating chuckle at the human condition. Imagine a globally recognized star, perhaps one who just topped a most influential people list, sitting quietly, trying to genuinely grasp the Zen truth that all this adoration, all this power, all this influence is ultimately empty and impermanent. Their internal monologue might go something like this: so millions love me. My face is on billboards. Worldwide, I can get a table at any restaurant without a reservation, but it's all impermanent and ultimately empty. Does that mean my meticulously crafted brand, my carefully curated legacy is just a cosmic joke? But hey, at least I wore a really expensive, perfectly tailored outfit for this fleeting, insubstantial moment of adulation. Perhaps my enlightened detachment will go viral. It's the ultimate self deprecating humor, isn't it? The profound, often hilarious struggle of achieving enlightened detachment from one's own superstardom, recognizing the ephemeral nature of the very thing most people spend their entire lives chasing, and then finding peace in that absurd realization. This profound understanding, cultivated through consistent Zen practice, allows our Zen practicing celebrities to navigate fame in a fundamentally different way. They participate in the grand, dazzling dance. They walk the red carpet. They give the interviews. They accept the awards. But they don't get trapped by the illusion. Their remarkable groundedness, think of Keanu Reeves' quiet, almost ethereal humility, or Jeff Bridges' unruffled ease that borders on cosmic indifference, comes from seeing through the ephemeral nature of it all. They understand that the thunderous applause is for the character they play or the carefully constructed image they project, not for their authentic, unadorned self. And because they are not desperately clinging to this external validation, they are profoundly free to maintain their true identity, their core values, and their unshakable inner peace, regardless of the fluctuating, often brutal tides of public opinion. Their genuine light shines through the ephemeral dazzle because it emanates from a deeper, more substantial source. And here lies the delicious, liberating paradox. The more deeply you understand that fame, like all phenomena, is ultimately an illusion, the more truly authentic, impactful, and enduring you can become within it. When you are not clinging to the fleeting shadows, the spotlight itself transforms from a suffocating cage into a luminous mirror reflecting your true, unadorned being. When you embody this non attachment, your presence becomes magnetic, your creativity more spontaneous, and your impact more profound, precisely because you are not burdened by the need to control the outcome or cling to the illusion. It's what allows these figures to not just survive the relentless glare of the limelight, but to truly radiate within it, creating a deep, lasting connection with their audience that goes far beyond fleeting fame, built on the solid ground of genuine, unadorned presence. Remember our intrepid desert fish we spoke of earlier? It doesn't mistake the shimmering heat haze, the illusory promise of water on the horizon, for the real thing. It discerns what is true, what is truly nourishing, what is life sustaining from the superficial appearance. In the same way, Zen helps these famous individuals discern genuine connection and lasting fulfillment from the fleeting, often isolating allure of public adoration and external validation. They understand that real happiness doesn't come from being admired by millions, but from being deeply connected to themselves, to their true purpose, and to the quiet, authentic moments of their lives. This profound liberation from the red carpet illusion allows them to build lives of true substance, enduring far beyond the fleeting spotlight. Now, as you settle even deeper into your peaceful space, allow yourself to release any lingering attachment to external appearances or validations. Imagine that any desire to impress, any need for approval, any clinging to a specific self image is simply a shimmering, distant mirage, like a heat haze on the horizon, beautiful but ultimately insubstantial. Feel your body becoming utterly heavy, profoundly comfortable, sinking into the truth of its own existence, unburdened by outside expectations or the need to perform. With each slow, soft exhale, imagine letting go of the need to be anything other than exactly who you are right now in this moment. Allow your authentic self, unadorned and perfectly complete, to emerge welcoming a deep, peaceful, and profoundly authentic sleep. You are enough just as you are. As you continue to shed the shimmering yet ultimately superficial illusion of fame, feeling the profound liberation that comes from rooting yourself in authentic being. Let's pivot towards a crucial Zen principle that holds the key to sustainable excellence, whether you're navigating a blockbuster film set or simply your own remarkably busy week, the middle way to peak performance. This isn't about compromise or settling for mediocrity. Oh no, that would be far too mundane for Zen. Instead, it's about discovering the dynamic, often exhilarating balance between seemingly opposing forces, allowing you to not just succeed, but to truly thrive without burning out. In our modern world, the dominant narrative of success often pushes us towards unhealthy, unsustainable extremes. You're either in full hustle mode, grinding relentlessly, working 18-hour days, fueled by industrial strength caffeine and sheer willpower, constantly striving for more, more, more. You're convinced that if you're not perpetually exhausted, you're simply not trying hard enough. or you're collapsing into complete, utter exhaustion, utterly burned out, perhaps even slipping into a quiet apathy or a frantic avoidance, wondering why you ever started down this path in the first place. It's a stark binary choice, isn't it? Either you're on 24/7, pushing yourself to the brink, draining your energy reserves until you're running on fumes, or you're completely off, crashing, recovering, and feeling guilty about it. There seems to be no elegant in between, no sustainable rhythm that gracefully honors both fierce ambition and profound well being. The pursuit of success often feels like driving a high performance sports car with the pedal perpetually to the metal, never once thinking about the brakes, until you inevitably run out of gas, or more likely crash into a very expensive, very painful wall. Zen, with its ancient, often mischievously simple wisdom, offers a profound alternative, the middle way, or Chudo. This isn't a timid, lukewarm compromise between two extremes. Oh no, it's a path of dynamic balance, a skillful, almost acrobatic dance between effort and ease, between striving and non striving, between intense engagement and restorative detachment. Imagine a perfectly tuned guitar string. If it's too slack, it produces no sound, no music, no resonance. If it's pulled too tight, it snaps under the tension, rendering it useless. But at the right tension, that sweet spot of balanced effort, it sings beautifully, producing rich, clear, vibrant notes. The middle way is about finding that optimal tension in your own life, the point where you are fully engaged, giving your best, pouring your heart into the process, but without the desperate, rigid attachment that leads to exhaustion and disappointment. It's about recognizing that continuous output without intelligent input, without mindful rest, without periods of receptive stillness, is a guaranteed recipe for creative physical and personal bankruptcy. The humor in trying to find this elusive balance, especially in a world that pulls you to such extremes, is something we can all relate to, perhaps with a wry, knowing smile. You decide you're going to find your middle way, so you try to be productive, but also perfectly relaxed. You might sit down for a meditation session only to have your entire to do list scream at you from the depths of your mind demanding attention. Or you try to relax but then feel a pang of guilt for not hustling enough, worried you're falling behind. It's like trying to walk a tightrope for the very first time. You wobble you over, correct wildly. You might even fall spectacularly into a ditch on either side, muttering to yourself, "Oh, was that too much effort? Or not enough ease? Am I balanced yet? Or am I just profoundly confused and now slightly bruised?" The ego, ever eager to quantify and judge, will chime in with its helpful commentary. You're clearly failing at the middle way. Perhaps you need to read another self help book on how to balance. The Zen answer, of course, is simply to keep walking, gently adjusting without judgment, allowing the balance to reveal itself through patient, consistent practice. It's the effortless effort of tending a garden. You plant the seeds, you water them, you provide sunlight, but you don't force the plants to grow. You create the optimal conditions, and then you trust the inherent wisdom of nature to unfold. Think about how this middle way profoundly manifests in the sustained, often decades long careers of our famous figures. It's not just about working incredibly hard, it's about working wisely with a profound understanding of their own energy and creative rhythms. An actor might immerse themselves intensely in a role, pouring every ounce of their being into the character living and breathing it, but then they know precisely when to step back to rest, to detach to recharge their creative well, rather than letting the role consume them completely. They don't relentlessly push themselves to the point of creative or physical burnout because they understand that true, authentic creativity needs space, needs stillness, needs deep nourishment. A director might have an intense, all consuming vision for a film, but they also know when to surrender to the collaborative process, when to allow for spontaneity, when to let go of absolute rigid control, and when to step away for a moment to gain fresh perspective. Their remarkable longevity, their sustained ability to produce groundbreaking high quality work, often comes from this deep, almost intuitive understanding of rhythm, the dynamic ebb and flow of intense focus and restorative rest. They remain fresh, innovative, and resilient because they master this dance rather than perpetually trying to sprint a marathon. This middle way means understanding that peak performance isn't achieved by pushing harder and harder in one singular direction like a stubborn mule. Instead, it's about finding that sweet spot where your effort is efficient, your mind is clear and receptive, and your body is resilient. It's the zen of a perfectly executed movement in martial arts. Not too much force, not too little, but precisely the right amount delivered at the right time, with perfect economy of motion. It's the difference between trying to paddle frantically and exhaustively against a strong current and simply adjusting your angle, allowing the current itself to subtly assist your journey forward. When you are truly living the middle way, your actions are powerful, not because they are forced, but because they arise from a place of profound balance, inner harmony, and intuitive wisdom. You are in alignment with the flow, not fighting it. Remember our intrepid desert fish navigating its improbable existence. It's not frantically thrashing about, burning all its precious energy in a desperate, unsustainable fight against its environment. Nor is it simply giving up and lying still, waiting for oblivion. Instead, it moves with an efficient, balanced effort, conserving its resources, sensing the environment, and pushing forward with a quiet, persistent determination. Its survival, its enduring success in that extreme environment is a testament to this inherent understanding of the middle way, knowing when to exert and when to conserve in order to simply be effectively. Now, as you prepare to sink even deeper into the welcoming embrace of sleep, allow this profound concept of the middle way to guide you. Don't force yourself to sleep. That's like trying to paddle furiously against a current that doesn't exist. Don't resist sleep either by clinging to wakefulness or worrying about tomorrow. Instead, find that beautiful balance. Release any effort to control your thoughts and equally release any resistance to them. Simply allow your body to relax, your breath to deepen naturally, and your mind to settle into that sweet spot between conscious effort and complete effortless surrender. Feel the perfect tension, the serene equilibrium that allows you to effortlessly drift into a profound, restorative deep sleep, perfectly tuned, perfectly at peace, perfectly balanced. As you gently inhabit that perfectly balanced middle way feeling, the serene harmony of effort and ease within your being, let's explore another often overlooked yet absolutely crucial Zen quality that is indispensable for navigating any path filled with unpredictable twists and turns, especially the glittering yet notoriously fickle world of entertainment wisdom in the waiting game. This isn't about passive resignation. It's about cultivating a profound active patience that transforms periods of seeming inaction into fertile ground for growth learning and unwavering resilience. In our hyper-connected instant gratification society, patience often feels less like a virtue and more like a relic of a bygone era. You're used to information at your fingertips, next day delivery for almost anything your heart desires, and immediate responses to your every whim. We want success, and we want it now. The very idea of waiting feels like a punishment, a frustrating waste of precious time, or even worse, a definitive sign of failure. The constant, relentless pressure to always be doing, always achieving, always seeing immediate results can be utterly exhausting, can it? You're constantly checking your phone, your email, your metrics, convinced that if you're not actively engaged in some form of forward motion, you're somehow falling behind, losing ground in an invisible race. It's a constant sprint without a discernible finish line, and the mental fatigue is palpable. Now amplify this feeling by 1,000 for our celebrity friends. Imagine the endless, soul crushing audition loops, the agonizing wait for a casting call that may never come, the years a passion project might spend languishing in development hell, the frustrating dry spells between acting roles, the excruciating anticipation of opening weekend box office numbers, or the agonizing silence after a major award nomination, waiting for the envelope to be opened, determining your fate in a single agonizing moment. It's a career built as much on enduring the wait as it is on performing a prolonged state of suspended animation where your future seems to hang by the thinnest of threads. Zen, with its deep reverence for the natural rhythms of life, for the slow, meticulous unfolding of existence, teaches a profound form of patience or nintai. This isn't a passive, do nothing kind of waiting where you just twiddle your thumbs, stare blankly into space, and hope for the best like a forgotten extra on a film set. Oh no, that's just procrastination dressed in a flimsy spiritual costume. Instead, Zen patience is an active, mindful presence during periods of apparent inaction. It's about being fully engaged with the now, even when the now feels like a frustrating, interminable pause. It's about understanding at a deep cellular level that everything unfolds in its own time, with its own inherent wisdom, like a tiny seed buried patiently in the earth that can't be forced to sprout before its season, or a mighty river slowly but surely carving a profound canyon over millennia. You cultivate the soil, you provide the water, you do your part, but you then trust the inherent, unhurried wisdom of the universe to unfold when it's truly ready. The humorous torture of the waiting game, especially in high stakes situations, is exquisitely relatable, isn't it? Imagine a famous actor, known for their powerful, emotionally charged performances, stuck in an audition room for hours, feeling their meticulously cultivated Zen patience fraying around the edges. Their internal monologue might escalate into a frantic internal monologue. Just breathe, it will come, or it won't. But if it doesn't, my career is over. Oh, for Zen's sake, just tell me if I got the part already. Am I being Zen enough right now? No, clearly not. I'm vibrating with anxiety so much my aura is probably flickering like a faulty light bulb. Is this Zen? This feels more like a caffeine overdose, mixed with existential dread. It's a beautifully absurd struggle, isn't it? The more you try to be patient, the more impatient you often become, caught in a cosmic joke of your own making. Zen simply invites you to observe, that impatience acknowledge it with a gentle knowing nod, and then gently kindly return to your breath, to the present moment, trusting that the universe, or at least the casting director, will reveal its plans in its own perfect, unhurried time. This active, mindful patience is a secret weapon for career longevity and profound resilience in the ever shifting sands of Hollywood. Think about the enduring careers of many of our Zen practicing celebrities. They've navigated dry spells that would send others into despair, faced rejections that felt like personal affronts, and endured periods of lower visibility where their star seemed to dim. It's simply impossible to be constantly on or perpetually at the absolute peak of your career. There are always lulls, creative blocks, and unpredictable shifts in public taste and industry demands. For those lacking this Zen patience, these waiting periods can lead to crushing bitterness, frantic desperation, or simply giving up altogether. But for those who have cultivated Nintai, these periods become invaluable opportunities for quiet reflection, for deepening their craft away from the spotlight, for simply living their lives rather than merely existing for the next big role. They learn to trust the natural ebb and flow, understanding that sometimes the most profound growth, the most vital creative nourishment happens in the quiet, unseen moments of stillness. It's why they can return to the spotlight when the time is right, refreshed, revitalized, and profoundly authentic, rather than worn out, cynical, and spiritually depleted. The paradox is undeniable. Sometimes the greatest action, the most effective forward movement, is apparent inaction. By waiting with presence, by cultivating a deep trust in the profound unfolding process of life, you remain open, adaptable, and immensely resilient. Patience isn't a sign of weakness, a lack of ambition, or a passive acceptance of mediocrity. It's a profound strength, a deep wisdom, and a powerful trust in life's own intricate rhythms. It's the ultimate act of surrender that paradoxically leads to enduring progress and genuine success. It's the art of letting time do its work while you do yours, fully inhabiting the present moment, whatever it holds, with a quiet, unwavering heart. Remember our intrepid desert fish? It didn't find water instantly, did it? It didn't rage against the heat or despair at the endless sand. It patiently, persistently, and mindfully moved through that arid landscape, trusting its innate senses, enduring the discomfort, and not giving up when the shimmering mirages appeared. Its survival, its ultimate success in finding water, depended entirely on its profound ability to play the long waiting game with a calm, unwavering spirit, knowing that frantic thrashing wouldn't conjure an oasis, but persistent, patient, mindful movement would lead to the true source. Now, as you settle even deeper into your peaceful sleep, allow yourself to release any impatience that might be lingering within you. Impatience about falling asleep, about tomorrow, or about any aspect of your life that feels like it's in a waiting period. Gently acknowledge that feeling of wanting things to be different, that itch for immediate resolution, and then with each soft, slow exhale, imagine releasing it. Surrender to the present moment, to the gentle, rhythmic flow of your breath, and to the quiet wisdom that understands everything, unfolds in its own perfect, divinely timed way. Trust that rest will come naturally in its own good time, and that your own journey in its unique, so often unscripted unfolding is exactly as it should be. Allow yourself to be held in this profound patience, drifting effortlessly into a deep, restorative sleep. As you float in that quiet pool of profound patience, understanding that the deepest insights often emerge from the spaces in between the frantic doing, let's explore another surprising Zen secret to enduring success and continuous vibrant innovation, particularly vital in fields that demand constant reinvention, the art of beginner's mind. This isn't about forgetting everything you know or pretending to be ignorant. Oh no, that would be far too much effort and frankly quite inefficient. Instead, it's about remembering how to truly see again, to approach every moment, every task, every person as if for the very first deliciously fresh time. You know how it goes, don't you? You become good at something truly excellent. You master a skill, accumulate knowledge, build an impressive resume of experience, and then subtly, almost imperceptibly, a sneaky little trap begins to form. You start to think you know it all. You approach new situations with pre cooked assumptions, relying on past successes as a rigid blueprint, dismissing novel ideas because we've always done it this way, or that simply won't work in this industry. This is the comfortable, yet creatively stagnant realm of expertise, where your knowledge becomes a heavy, ornate blindfold. It's like being an award winning chef who refuses to try new ingredients or cooking methods convinced their old recipes are the absolute zenith of culinary achievement. Or a brilliant musician who only plays the same old songs, never experimenting, never evolving their sound. In a dynamic, ever shifting industry like Hollywood, where trends can vanish faster than a poorly received pilot, and yesterday's genius is tomorrow's forgotten trivia, question this been there, done that syndrome can be a career killer, a slow, self inflicted creative suffocation. It's the ultimate paradox of mastery. The more you know, the less open you can become to genuine learning, to unexpected breakthroughs, to true radical innovation. Zen, ever the master of elegant simplicity and profound paradox, offers the liberating concept of beginner's mind or shoshin. Shoshin means approaching everything, every new script, every directing challenge, every scene with an actor, every interaction with the profound openness, eager curiosity, and genuine lack of preconceptions that a true beginner possesses. It's about letting go of your rigid assumptions, your past successes and glorious failures, your expert opinions that can subtly narrow your vision, and instead simply being utterly delightfully present with what is as if you've never encountered it before. The paradox is deliciously obvious. True mastery, genuine breakthroughs, and enduring innovation come not from knowing everything, but from constantly being willing to be a humble, curious student, to see the world with fresh, unjaded eyes, even when you're ostensibly the one teaching. It's like a seasoned jazz musician approaching each new performance not with a rigid score to be followed precisely, but with the boundless curiosity of a child discovering rhythm and melody for the very first time, allowing the music to simply flow through them. The humor in trying to embody Shoshin when you're already an expert is a delightful internal comedy that plays out in minds everywhere. Imagine a celebrated film director decades into their illustrious career, their names synonymous with cinematic genius, trying to approach a new script with beginner's mind. Their ego, that ever present, often loud internal narrator, might interject with a frustrated squawk. Wait, I have to pretend I don't know anything about cinematography, but I practically invented that shot. This feels utterly humiliating Maybe I'll just act like a beginner so everyone thinks I'm humble that's still winning, right? Or an A-list actor facing a new scene, trying to consciously forget all their award-winning techniques, only to suddenly stumble over a simple line, looking genuinely bewildered. It's the glorious absurdity of trying to unknow what you know to deliberately empty your cup when it's already overflowing with years of hard won wisdom, often spilling a bit of ego along the way. But it is in that very act of emptying, of relinquishing the perceived certainty of expertise, that true insight, genuine creativity, and groundbreaking innovation can emerge. You literally make profound space for the new to arrive unhindered by the old. This practice of Shoshin is absolutely vital for maintaining a vibrant creative edge and enduring relevance in fiercely competitive fields. Think of our famous figures with long, enduring careers, those who have not simply faded into the annals of has beens. They aren't simply repeating old formulas resting on their laurels. An actor like Jeff Bridges continues to embody diverse characters, always finding new, unexpected depths rather than relying on a single safe archetype. Directors like Oliver Stone, despite their established, often iconic styles, consistently push boundaries, experimenting with new techniques, or fearlessly tackling challenging, often controversial new narratives. Musicians, even after decades of hits, continue to evolve their sound rather than just playing their greatest hits in a sterile echo chamber. This profound adaptability, this willingness to experiment, this ceaseless pursuit of new forms of expression is a hallmark of the beginner's mind. They're not afraid to fail because, in the beginner's mind, failure is just another lesson, another fascinating way to learn another unexpected step on the path of endless discovery. They keep their minds pliable, open to inspiration from the most unexpected places, rather than letting them calcify into rigid containers of past glory. The paradox is elegantly simple. When you empty your cup of assumed knowledge, when you release the desperate need to always be the expert or the guru, you create a vast, boundless space for true insight, fresh ideas, and spontaneous breakthroughs to flow in. It's like clearing out a dusty, cluttered attic. Suddenly, there's room for beautiful fresh air, radiant light, and new possibilities you never knew existed. This isn't about intellectual amnesia, it's about intellectual humility. It's about recognizing that every single moment is utterly new, every person you meet holds a potential lesson, and every challenge is a fresh opportunity to learn something you never knew you needed. This perpetual state of profound curiosity and open receptivity is what keeps their creative wellspring fresh, their artistry vibrant, and their careers remarkably enduring, allowing them to remain relevant for decades in industries that often chew up and spit out talent in a single, unforgiving season. Remember our intrepid desert fish? It doesn't assume it knows everything about finding water just because it found it once or because it has a PhD in desert hydrology. Each new stretch of sand, each new challenge, each subtle shift in the environment is approached with a fresh awareness, a keen sense of observation, as if it's encountering the desert for the very first time. It remains open to new signals, new possibilities for survival, continually adapting and innovating in its pursuit of life. Its resilience and its very survival depend entirely on its willingness to be a perpetual beginner, always learning, always adjusting, always open to the unexpected, even when the path is dry and daunting. Now, as you continue to relax deeply, allow yourself to bring a beginner's mind to your sleep. Release any preconceived notions about how you should fall asleep, or what your sleep should be like, or how many hours you must achieve. Don't hold on to old patterns or the frustrating memories of past sleepless nights. Instead, approach this sacred moment of rest with fresh, innocent awareness. Notice the simple, profound sensation of your breath as if you're feeling it for the very first time. Feel your body sinking into your bed with a newfound appreciation for its comfort, as if you are discovering this sensation for the first time. With each gentle exhale, release any lingering expectations or expert opinions about sleep. Allow yourself to be truly present, open, and utterly receptive to the unique and profoundly restorative journey that each new moment of deep sleep brings. As you continue to cultivate that expansive beginner's mind, embracing every moment with fresh, unjaded eyes, let's now turn our attention to a concept that underpins much of Zen philosophy and profoundly impacts the vibrant, often chaotic narrative of our lives both on and off the silver screen, karma's unscripted roles. This isn't about some stern cosmic scorekeeper meticulously tallying your good deeds against your bad ones, ready to unleash a punitive lightning bolt for a forgotten email or a perfectly timed lottery win for recycling your water bottle. Oh no, that would be far too simplistic, and frankly, a bit too Hollywood for the subtle, often delightfully paradoxical wisdom of Zen. The popular understanding of karma often boils down to a simplistic, what goes around comes around, a kind of spiritual vending machine where you put in a good deed and out pops an instant reward, or a bad deed and get an immediate cosmic slap on the wrist. You might even find yourself, perhaps after holding a door open for someone with a genuinely cheerful smile, thinking, okay, universe, where's my reward? Where's my instant gratification for being a decent human being? Did my stock just go up? Did I just win the lottery? And then, when nothing immediately happens, you might feel a pang of cosmic injustice, a subtle frustration with the universe's sluggish accounting system. This simplified, often transactional view often leads to either self righteousness, believing you're owed something, or cynical frustration, convinced the system is rigged, ultimately missing the far more intricate, profound, and often darkly humorous reality of how cause and effect actually operate. It's like believing that just because you meticulously watered a seed, it should instantly burst into a fully grown oak tree, right here, right now, perfectly shaped for your personal aesthetic. Zen's understanding of karma is far more nuanced, far more liberating, and profoundly empowering. It's not about fate or some predetermined destiny that you are helplessly caught within. Instead, karma in Zen is fundamentally about action, conscious, intentional action. It's about the very quality of your intentions, the choices you make, and the continuous, intricate, and often subtle web of cause and effect that you are constantly weaving with every single thought, every word you utter, and every deed you perform. It's not a rigid destiny, but a dynamic, unfolding process based on your moment to moment choices. Every action you take, no matter how seemingly insignificant, sends ripples through the fabric of reality, influencing not just the external world around you, but profoundly shaping your own internal landscape, your habits, your character, and your future opportunities. It's like tending a garden. You plant a tomato seed with genuine care, you get tomatoes. You plant a weed seed with absent minded neglect, you get weeds. The punishment or reward isn't external judgment from a deity. It's the natural, inevitable unfolding of what you yourself have set in motion. There's no external cosmic referee. There's just the vast, complex, and often wonderfully unpredictable garden you are continuously tending. Consider the magnified consequences of actions in Hollywood, where every single move, every casual remark, every subtle gesture is instantly under a powerful, often unforgiving public microscope. A single, seemingly minor act of genuine kindness from Keanu Reeves on the subway, performed without fanfare or expectation of return, blossoms into countless viral stories, cementing his reputation as one of the most beloved and authentically grounded stars. That's karma at play. His pure intention and selfless action create powerful positive ripples that return to him in unexpected, enduring ways, building a unique kind of enduring success that transcends mere box office numbers and publicist generated hype. Conversely, a famous figure who consistently engages in unethical behavior, despite perhaps achieving short term gains, often finds their career crumbling, their reputation irrevocably tarnished by the cumulative weight of their own actions, their past deeds casting long shadows. Their karma isn't a bolt from the blue. It's the slow, steady erosion of trust, opportunity, and inner peace that they themselves initiated thread by painstaking thread. Their life story becomes an unscripted, often dramatic role, continuously being written by their own moment to moment choices, for better or for worse, before a global audience. The humor in trying to game karma or manipulate this intricate system is again perfectly Zen like in its absurdity. You might find yourself doing something good with a secret self serving motive, then feeling utterly exasperated when the immediate cosmic reward doesn't manifest itself in the precise form you desired. I volunteered at the animal shelter all weekend, and I even picked up dog poop. Where's my big break? Where's my Oscar for Best Humanitarian? Why isn't Hollywood calling me to play a saintly character? The absurdity lies in trying to control or manipulate the vast, intricate, and often unpredictable web of cause and effect as if it were a simple transactional vending machine. Zen teaches us that true karmic freedom comes from releasing the desperate expectation of specific immediate returns and instead focusing purely on the profound quality of your intention and action. It's about acting from a place of intrinsic goodness, from a place of authentic being, not for external reward. When you plant seeds of kindness, you are cultivating the conditions for a kinder world both around you and within you, and your own internal world naturally becomes a more benevolent, peaceful, and abundant place, regardless of immediate external feedback. This profound, liberating understanding of karma frees you from being a passive victim of fate, a mere pawn in a predetermined game. Instead, it empowers you as the continuous co creator of your reality. You are not bound by a fixed, unchangeable destiny. You are actively, moment by moment, weaving the rich, complex tapestry of your life through your conscious choices. This profound realization brings both immense responsibility and incredible liberation. It means that even when life throws you an unscripted, challenging role, a scene you never asked to be in, you have the profound power to choose your response, to plant new beneficial seeds, and to alter the very trajectory of your own narrative. It's the ultimate improv show where you are both the actor and the playwright, continuously writing your own destiny with every choice you make, creating your own unique and authentic karmic footprint. Remember our intrepid desert fish? Its survival wasn't a matter of random luck or some external cosmic intervention. It was the direct, inevitable result of its own consistent, mindful actions, its persistent movement, its keen sense of smell, its unwavering focus on finding moisture, its ingenious adaptation. Every twitch of its fin, every sensory detection, every burrow into the sand was a karmic action that led it towards its goal. It actively created its own karma of survival through its inherent wisdom and diligent, unforced effort, rather than waiting passively for some external force to rescue it. It understood on a primal instinctual level that its reality was continuously being shaped by its own unfolding actions. Now, as you prepare to drift deeper into sleep, allow yourself to gently reflect on your own actions and intentions, not with harsh judgment, but with a quiet, knowing awareness. Release any lingering guilt from past choices or any anxiety about future outcomes. Trust in the natural, often exquisitely timed unfolding of cause and effect. With each slow, soft exhale, imagine releasing the need to control the intricate web of your life. Simply rest in the profound peace of being present, knowing that your highest intentions and most authentic actions are continuously weaving a tapestry of well-being, both for yourself and the world around you. Allow this profound acceptance to guide you effortlessly into a deep restorative sleep. As you rest in the quiet wisdom of karma's unscripted roles, understanding that every action, every intention continuously shapes your unfolding narrative, let's bring our journey back to the most intimate and vital of all Zen applications, returning to the silent studio. This isn't just about unwinding after a long day. It's about applying the profound stillness we've explored tonight to unlock the deepest, most restorative sleep your body and mind can truly experience. You know the drill, don't you? The day finally winds down. You climb into bed. The covers feel soft, the pillows just right, and just when you crave that sweet, blissful surrender to slumber, your mind decides to host an impromptu, high energy jazz concert. It's a relentless symphony of to do lists, clamoring for attention, replays of awkward conversations from last Tuesday, anxieties about tomorrow's colossal deadlines, and perhaps a sudden, inexplicable, urgent need to recall the precise lyrics to a forgotten 80s pop song. Sleep, which should arrive as naturally and effortlessly as the setting sun, often feels like a highly elusive, highly demanding, utterly uncooperative guest. You try to force it. You wrestle with your thoughts. You check the clock repeatedly, each tick a tiny hammer blow against your peace. And the more you try to sleep, the more awake, more frustrated, more wide-eyed you seem to become. It's the ultimate sleep paradox, isn't it? The harder you chase it, the faster it runs away, like a mischievous desert fox, darting just out of reach, leaving you panting and bewildered. Zen, however, offers a profoundly simple, yet often counterintuitive gift for this pervasive modern dilemma, the cultivation of stillness. It's not about actively doing anything to fall asleep, because sleeps, like wisdom, cannot be forced. Instead, it's about undoing all the mental and physical tension, all the unconscious clinging and grasping that prevents sleep from arriving naturally. Imagine your mind as a glass of muddy water. Your immediate instinct, when you want clear water, might be to vigorously stir it, to actively clear it, but that, as you know, only makes it murkier, swirling the sediment even more frantically. Zen teaches us to simply let the glass sit. The mud will inevitably slowly, gently, patiently settle to the bottom, leaving clear water above. Your mind, when left undisturbed, will naturally settle into the profound stillness required for deep, effortless sleep. It's about becoming aware of the quiet that is always there beneath the surface noise, waiting patiently for you to return to it. The humor in trying to achieve this Zen like stillness for sleep is something we've all experienced, often with a frustrated chuckle. You lie there, utterly determined to clear your mind, to attain that serene, thoughtless void, and suddenly your brain decides to showcase its entire highlight reel of embarrassing moments from the past decade, perhaps even in slow motion. Just be still, you command yourself, eyes squeezed shut, muscles tensed with effort. Be like a Zen master on a mountaintop, no thoughts, empty mind, peaceful, and then your internal monologue kicks in with a vengeance. Is that my neighbor's cat? Did I remember to lock the back door? This stillness is actually quite loud. Oh, good grief. My foot is twitching. Maybe I'm not doing Zen right. Am I too restless for enlightenment? Did I mention that awkward conversation from Tuesday already? Maybe if I replay it one more time. It's a delightful, self deprecating comedy of errors, isn't it? The ultimate paradox of trying to do stillness when stillness is fundamentally about non doing, about a profound and gentle surrender. But the practice, though often amusingly challenging in its initial stages, is truly profound in its results. As you lie here now, feel your body nestled deeply into your bed. This is your personal, silent studio, the quiet stage where the demanding performance of the day has gracefully concluded, and now only restorative rest awaits your effortless arrival. Bring your full, gentle awareness to your breath, your ever present anchor. Don't try to change it, or force it, or judge it. Just observe the natural rhythm, the gentle, continuous rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. With each slow, soft inhale, feel a wave of tranquil calm wash over your body, spreading from your core outwards. And with each exhale, imagine releasing any lingering tension, any worries, any thoughts that are still clinging to the edges of your awareness, letting them dissolve into the vast open space around you. Let your awareness drift with a soft, non judgmental gaze to your toes. Feel them softening, relaxing, letting go. Gently guide this wave of relaxation up to your feet, your ankles, releasing any tightness there, letting them sink. Allow this soothing wave to slowly, deliciously move up your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips. Feel your legs becoming heavy, deeply comfortable, sinking effortlessly into the mattress. Now bring your attention to your abdomen, feeling it soften and expand gently with each breath. Release any lingering tightness in your lower back, your mid back, your upper back. Imagine your spine elongating, creating precious space between each vertebra, and then gently settling into perfect, effortless alignment. Your chest is soft, your shoulders are melting down away from your ears, releasing their burdens. Feel your arms, your hands, your fingers becoming utterly heavy and deeply relaxed. Release any tension in your jaw, allowing your mouth to slightly open, your tongue to rest softly in your mouth. Your facial muscles are smooth, your forehead is unfurrowed and completely relaxed. And now feel your entire scalp softening your hair, relaxing your whole head, heavy and supported by your pillow. If thoughts arise, and they surely will, don't engage with them. Don't try to push them away or frantically wrestle them into submission. Don't judge them or yourself for having them. Simply acknowledge them, perhaps with a gentle, knowing nod or a quiet, amused smile, and then with profound kindness, let them drift by like distant clouds across a vast, empty, starlit sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the silent, expansive sky always there, always still, always at peace. This very moment, this gentle, non judgmental awareness, is your most powerful tool for entering the deep, nurturing currents of sleep. It's the effortless surrender that Zen teaches, the ultimate release from the day's elaborate performance. Remember our resourceful desert fish. When the scorching sun gives way to the cooler, quiet night, it doesn't fight the urge to rest. Perhaps it instinctively burrows slightly into the cool, damp sand, finding its own quiet moments of stillness, trusting in the profound stillness of its environment to offer respite. It doesn't try to do anything to sleep. It simply is sleep in its deepest, most natural sense, surrendering to the wisdom of its own body. This radical acceptance of what is, this gentle letting go of what is not, is the true key. You are not striving for sleep, you are allowing it. You are not fighting your thoughts, you are observing them with quiet detachment. You are not forcing your body to relax. You are simply allowing it to soften, surrendering to its natural, inherent inclination towards rest. This profound stillness, cultivated through gentle awareness and compassionate non doing, is the silent studio that welcomes you night after night into the most profound and deeply restorative sleep. As you surrender to that profound stillness, allowing your body to settle deeply, effortlessly, into the promise of truly restorative sleep, let's bring our epic journey to a close. We've crisscrossed the improbable landscapes where ancient Zen wisdom has unexpectedly met modern stardom, from the chaotic sets of Hollywood to the quiet depths of the human heart. We've witnessed with a healthy dose of humor and irony how the very principles that lead to inner peace can paradoxically unlock extraordinary success in the most demanding, often absurd environments imaginable. Now it's your turn. This wasn't just a story about them, it's an open invitation to direct your own Zen blockbuster. Think back to the shimmering threads we've woven tonight, each a facet of Zen's multifaceted wisdom. We began with Oliver Stone, the maestro of cinematic chaos, who discovered that quieting the incessant mental static allowed his creative vision to shine through with laser like clarity. Then came Jeff Bridges, our quintessential dude who embodied effortless acceptance, teaching us that true power lies in surrendering to the cosmic flow, not fighting it with rigid determination. We chuckled knowingly with Gary Shandling, whose brilliant, self aware humor stemmed from a mindful presence that allowed him to find profound insight and laughter in the very absurdities of life and the ego. We saw Richard Gere embody compassionate action, demonstrating with quiet strength that inner peace cultivated deeply can fuel a powerful drive for justice and kindness in the world, even when it's inconvenient. And we marveled at Keanu Reeves, the unattached star whose quiet dignity and profound resilience in the face of immense fame and crushing personal loss showcased the unbreakable strength of non attachment. We then ventured deeper, exploring how meditation isn't just for saffron robed monks in secluded monasteries, but a vital, profoundly practical tool for you navigating the relentless digital noise and constant demands of your own busy modern life. We grappled with the delightful paradox of no mind or mushin, realizing that sometimes the most effective way to perform, to create, to simply be is to get out of your own overthinking way and allow spontaneous intuitive action to take over. We embraced the counterintuitive wisdom of letting go of the script, understanding that releasing your frantic attachment to specific predetermined outcomes often opens the door to even greater, more organic, and truly surprising successes, often far beyond your wildest imaginings. We learned about cultivating mindfulness in the limelight, the essential art of being fully present, authentically, even when the world is constantly watching, judging, and analyzing your every move. You heard about the empty bowl of ambition, a concept that encourages releasing the desperate, insatiable grasping for more, so that true abundance, not just material, but spiritual and emotional, can flow in effortlessly. We explored the practical, often humorous application of finding Zen in daily chaos, transforming mundane moments into precious opportunities for profound presence, proving definitively that your life itself, in all its glorious messiness, is your monastery, your training ground. We even bravely, perhaps, with a self deprecating chuckle, tackled ego's slippery slope to enlightenment, acknowledging the often hilarious, often frustrating internal battle to quiet that relentless internal narrator and find true, unburdened authenticity. We then soared gracefully beyond the red carpet illusion, seeing through the glittering, yet ultimately fleeting and superficial nature of fame, finding groundedness and inner peace in profound impermanence. We understood the middle way to peak performance learning to find the exquisite balance of effort and ease for sustainable excellence, like a perfectly tuned instrument that sings with effortless grace. And just before this, we embraced the wisdom in the waiting game, cultivating an active patience that transforms periods of apparent inaction into fertile ground for profound growth and unwavering resilience. And finally, we fully recognize the art of beginner's mind, the continuous openness and curiosity that fosters endless creativity and genuine innovation, no matter how much you think you know. Now bring all these luminous threads together. Your life, right here, right now, in all its unique complexity, is your own unfolding Zen blockbuster, your personal masterpiece, continuously being written, directed, and performed. You are the visionary director, the lead actor, the insightful screenwriter, and yes, even the discerning audience. Every choice you make, every breath you take, every moment you choose to be present is shaping this grand production. It won't always be glamorous like a Hollywood premiere. Oh no, there will be inevitable internal bloopers, awkward dialogue, unexpected plot twists that derail your perfectly laid plans, and moments where you'll feel utterly bewildered, wondering if you even know your lines anymore. You might trip on the red carpet of your own daily life, or accidentally say something hilariously inappropriate during a quiet moment of introspection. That's perfectly okay. That's the messy, beautiful, wonderfully human reality of the Zen journey. It's not about achieving some unattainable perfection. It's about embracing the perfectly imperfect process with humor, self compassion, and a persistent, gentle curiosity that keeps you engaged. So, how do you direct your own Zen blockbuster starting tonight? It begins simply with a conscious breath. Right now, feel your breath. It's always there. your unwavering anchor in the present moment, your ever accessible access point to inner stillness, no matter where you are, what you're doing. Before you react to that next email, before you answer that phone call, before you dive headfirst into the next frantic task, take just one mindful breath. Pause, notice, and then respond from a place of quiet clarity, not automatic stressed reaction. Practice gratitude for the small, often overlooked moments, the taste of your morning coffee, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the comfortable silence of your room, the perfectly mundane moments that often get lost in the frantic pursuit of the grand. Release judgment of yourself, of others, of the messy, sometimes bewildering unfolding of life. When that familiar voice of ego whispers, "You're not good enough," or "You should be doing more," simply acknowledge it with a gentle, knowing smile, like Gary Shandling might have done, and then gently release it, letting it float away like a tiny balloon. Remember that empty bowl is always there, waiting perfectly ready to be filled with whatever nourishment life truly offers once you stop trying to desperately, frantically fill it yourself. The profound beauty of this journey is that the extraordinary is found not in seeking something grand and distant, but in fully inhabiting the ordinary. Profound peace isn't hidden away in a secret, remote temple. It's in the quiet awareness you bring to doing the dishes, or walking down the street, or simply breathing. True success isn't just about external achievements, although those may well come as a natural byproduct. It's about cultivating an inner landscape of unshakable peace, quiet resilience, and authentic being that allows you to engage with life from a place of deep strength, profound wisdom, and genuine, unforced joy. It's about being truly present for your own unique story, even when it's unscripted, gloriously messy, and wonderfully, unpredictably real. Just like our incredible desert fish, whose entire improbable journey was its own unique, unexpected masterpiece of adaptation, persistence, and finding life where seemingly none should exist, your path is uniquely yours. It's a journey of continuous discovery, of letting go, of embracing the paradoxes, and of finding the extraordinary in the quiet courage of simply being. Now, as your body feels utterly heavy and profoundly at peace, allow these insights to gently settle deep within you. There's nothing left to do, nowhere left to go, nothing left to achieve. Every breath now guides you deeper, effortlessly deeper, into the welcoming currents of profound rest. Feel your mind quieting, softening, dissolving into the vast open space of stillness that you have cultivated within your own being. Let go of any remaining thought, any last whisper of the day, any lingering need to control or understand. Surrender completely to this moment, allowing your body to sink fully gently into the deepest, most restorative sleep. You are safe, you are at peace, you are complete.